survival of the fittest when Alabama State and Alabama A&M go head-to-head at the Magic City Classic. Big plays are bound to happen. Last season, LC Cole's Hornets got their stinger snapped by Ron Cooper's Bulldogs, 34-27. This season, State would just love avoid being sacked by A&M. After all, they have been on a roll with a 4-game winning streak. But they can ill afford to lose a third straight to A&M if they want their prayers for an Eastern Division championship to be answered. Alabama State, Alabama A&M next on BET. The state of Alabama, a place where college football reigns supreme, and those folks out here at the football game love celebrating long before the opening kickoff. And when you invite BET along for the ride, well, you know it's going to be a real party. And today, they expect over 61,000 folks to cram themselves into the legendary Legion Field for the 60th Magic City Classic, featuring the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M and Alabama State Hornets. Hello, everybody. I'm George Johnson. Well, pardon Alabama State if they're suffering from a bad case of deja vu. You see, last year they were in the same situation that they are today. They had won 4 straight in the conference and looked in perfect position to win the Eastern Division of the SWAC. And then they ran into this buzzsaw called Alabama A&M here at the Magic City Classic. Last year, over 61,000 folks coming to Legion Field as Alabama State, as I said, had won 4 straight. But it was all Bulldog defense in this year. Special teams, special. And that front 7 pressured Darnell Kennedy all day. He did finish with 370 yards passing, but was sacked several times. Offsetting him on the offensive side for Alabama A&M was Curtis Darnell, who ran for 133 yards and finished with 4 touchdowns and was once again the MVP of this football game. As for A&M, they would move on after that victory and find themselves in the SWAC championship games a couple of weeks later. But this year, things a little different for them. They are 2-5 coming into this contest. As for Alabama State, they figure they have destiny in their own hands. If they continue to win football games, they will find themselves in the SWAC championship. You can see that they have a tie with Alcorn State. They lost to the Braves earlier this season, so if they finish in a tie at the end of the year, Alcorn State will move on to the championship game by virtue of the tiebreaker. No matter who wins the East Division, looks like they're going to have to face the Tigers of Grambling State. Grambling State remains undefeated under Doug Williams at 6-0 overall, 4-0 in conference play, and they are ranked 6th in all of Division I AA. These two football teams have been playing each other since 1924, so needless to say, there's a lot of tradition that has been built between both squads, and what a great venue to play this football game at here at Legion Field, a place with a lot of tradition. And with that, I bring in my broadcast partner, Don McPherson, standing by on the hallowed grounds of Legion Field.
Well, George, you're exactly right. Standing here on the grass of Legion Field, you get the sense of the great Alabama teams, coached by legendary Coach Bear Bryant, and of course the Alabama-Auburn games that filled this stadium for so many years, and today, the 60-year tradition of the Magic City Classic, Alabama State, Alabama A&M. And as a quarterback for Alabama State, Darnell Kennedy, who plans to put his name in the record books of this great facility. He's number 3 all-time in the SWAC conference in passing, and his last 4 games has put his team in position for the SWAC championship game. What I like about him most is he, in each of his seasons as a starter, has never completed less than 50% of his passes. In the last 4 games, has also helped his running back, Larry Bias, number 2 in the conference. 4 games, last 4 games, 100 yards rushing in each of the last 4 games. But all is not well with Alabama State. Their defense is banged up, and they are facing an Alabama A&M team that brings in an option attack. They're going to need a healthy defense, and it's a fast track down here on the grass.
All right, thank you very much, Donnie Mack, joined also by Nate Newton, the former All-Pro guard with the Dallas Cowboys. Nate, when you talk about Alabama A&M, this is a club that has struggled, especially on the offensive side of the football. So what they do, they scrap their offensive philosophy, they go to the option, and that requires the quarterback to make good decisions, and they believe that Chris Gunn is capable of that.
Chris Gunn is capable of making good decisions. He knows when to keep it, he knows when to toss it, but if they bog down, they will go to Jacob Wilson. He's the guy with the athletic ability. He can make things happen. He's Mr. Excitement. But up front, they have a guardian angel in Ron Wilson, the big right tackle. He's 6'3", 290. He's a junior, good pass blocker, but most of all, he's a devastating run blocker.
Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the football, if it weren't for bad luck, there'd be no luck at all for Alabama A&M. The defense has been decimated by injuries. In fact, they thought they'd get their big defensive end, Robert Mathis, back. He's still injured. That puts a lot of pressure on the young man, Dante Dawson.
Dante Dawson has came a long way. This guy's a true athlete. He's 6'3", 250. He's a senior. He's out of Miami, Florida, so he's used to being on the streets and making things happen as a thug. This guy can make things happen.
Well, Ron Cooper was, of course, one of the better coaches in the SWAC last year, led his club to the SWAC championship, but they are struggling coming into this football game. This is what he had to say to his troops prior to kickoff.
No turnover. Control the line of scrimmage and no turnover. Running backs, receivers, wide out court. We put the ball in your hand. Protect it with your life. No turnovers. Control the line up front. Control the line of scrimmage up front. Everybody got it. Defense do what? Stop what? Stop the run and
Today's Black College Football Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines and by Budweiser. The crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Welcome back, Legion Field, the 60th Magic City Classic between Alabama State in the white uniforms with the black socks taking on Alabama A&M. George Johnson along with Don McPherson and Big Nate Newton. As we're ready to start things off, you see L.C. Cole in his second season at Alabama State, done a tremendous job and knows his club needs to get the victory here. And what a hole that Bias has right there, wide open down the sideline, and a big-time return for Alabama State, good for 47 yards. It'll be 1st and 10. Travis Shug, the tackler there, he of course kicked the football off. And look now.
He just got some great blocking there on the left side. And Bias just takes up the field, goes untouched for the first 40 yards with the ball in his hands. A great way for this Alabama State offense to get started.
So Darnell Kennedy will bring Alabama State to the line, the SWAC's third leading passer, the 6', 180-pound senior from Mobile. Already whistles on the field.
45 seconds.
First play, Kennedy,
throw it.
and it looks like they're going to try a little option play of their own in terms of a halfback pass, but the defense smells it out. Big-time play. Floyd B.J. Tiger was the guy that wanted to throw the football. He's the former quarterback.
And exactly right. Tiger has played some quarterbacks, so they know he can throw the ball down the field. And Alabama State coming out right away with a little bit of trickery, trying to get something started. And give a lot of credit to the A&M defense for hanging in there.
That's Andre Dawson we was talking about there. The guy earlier in the open, he made the first play.
They lose 6 yards on the play, makes it now 2nd down 16, ball at midfield. Kennedy rolling to his right, finds a wide open receiver. That catch good for big yardage is Mayshawn Sanders with the pickup, good for 20 yards and a 1st down. A look now at our starting lineups. Tango McCauley, the transfer from Texas A&M, also there along with Brown, Carlton, Stevenson, and Lee. Another look at our Budweiser starting lineups, and you see Cortez Mitchell, the 2nd leading rusher behind Larry Bias at fullback. Tiger, also one of the receivers you better keep your eye on, who got hauled down for that 6-yard loss. Immediately, Kennedy continues to throw the football. This time it's complete to his tight end, Chris Coleman. Your starting lineup, your Budweiser starting lineups on the defensive side of the ball. Dawson, Hassan, and Harris are true freshmen in the middle. DeVoris Dunn is the former fullback, moved to outside linebacker. Lionel Macklin is the leading tackler on the team. Henry Freeman moves to cornerback. He has played safety in the past. Inside handoff this time goes to Bias, and nothing doing as our Dante Dawson, number 90, is the first guy to smack him.
It's the second player Dante Dawson has made today early in this game. He needs to step up big to fill in for the kid Matthews, and he's doing it so far.
Pickup of maybe 2 yards. That makes it 3rd down and 2 for Alabama State, who came in 4-2 overall, 3-1 in the conference. Last week knocking off Arkansas Pine Bluff. Inside handoff, and look at Dawson. He is all over the field, big boy.
Dante Dawson. Hey, he knifed down in there right there. He's knifed.
So they're short of a first down with that play, and they're going to bring in the field goal team. And Thomas Elms coming in to kick. Third leading kicker in the conference. Is 4-4 on field goals this season. Perfect. And his longest has been 37 yards. This one will be good from 41 yards out.
And
another whistle. And you hope that this is not a delay that would move him back. As Richard Drake.
Ball foul. Delay again.
And that is the delay, and now they move him back 5 yards, and now it makes it even tougher kick.
It also may change the decision for LC Cole, whether or not he tries to pooch this in there, knowing that he's got an option attack coming back the other way. He may want to play that field position game early.
Try to pin them deep in their own territory, and why not? They have the best kicker in the SWAC in David Beckford, who's averaging 45 yards per kick.
They bring their offense back on.
So now, fourth down, I guess they're too close to punt it, too far away for a field goal, and Darnell Kennedy didn't like the call.
You know, LC Cole's biggest concern coming into this ball game was keeping his team focused and not making those types of mistakes. This is obviously a mental error that they couldn't get the personnel, couldn't get the decision made early in this ball game, and had to burn a timeout in the first drive.
You love the fact that this is a pretty good coaching staff, but maybe, just maybe, this is an instance where maybe you kind of got to look at the coaching staff also, and maybe they hadn't made their mind up quite.
You're exactly right. When they got the penalty and they started to move back, you saw the punt unit start to scramble on the sideline, and then the offensive unit came out in the field. At that point, Kennedy looked to the sideline and looked at his personnel, realized he didn't have the right personnel in the field, had to call a timeout.
And that falls on the offensive coordinator.
And there's LC Cole right there, as you see Ron Cooper. Cooper, who coached the A&M squad to that Southwestern Athletic Conference Eastern Division title last year. They did fall to Grambling State, but just look at where this guy has been. He worked under Lou Holtz at Notre Dame, Eastern Michigan, was the head coach at Louisville as well, and now here at Alabama A&M.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Look where this guy's been.
The resume's not too bad. You gotta keep busy in this business. Keep moving around. Stay fresh.
And don't unpack your bags.
Keep a for sale sign on your house.
1 for 7 on fourth downs this year for A&M, and make it now 2 for 8.
That was great protection by the offensive line.
Pass
Super
complete
protection.
to Eugene Johnson. Excuse me, big boy.
And Kennedy showed some great patience that time to allow the inside receiver to clear the zone. Great protection. Nate, you like that kind of protection.
Oh, yeah. The pocket is deep and wide.
That allowed Johnson a lot of time to come underneath the coverage, come across the middle after the inside receiver cleared the zone.
So Alabama State now 1st and 10. Ball is marked inside the 16-yard line. Kennedy still in that shotgun formation. Tight end in motion. And Kennedy going to lob this one into the end zone. And the pass was too far for Tiger.
Tiger getting banged around in it a little bit by Johnson, the strong safety. And number 7 Johnson for A&M, he's kind of a cross between a linebacker and a strong safety. So you'll see him sometimes in the pass rush, but you'll also see him covering that inside receiver in that 4 wideout offensive set.
First incomplete pass for Kennedy. Sorry, Big Nate. This time he's going to hand it off to Bias inside. Bias working his way inside the 15-yard line. Picks up close to 3 yards before a bunch of Bulldogs gang tackle him. Robert King and Lionel Macklin there to make the stop.
Robert King is taking Matthews' place, so he has some big shoes to fill today.
Of course, Big Nate talking about Robert Mathis, who is still second on the team in tackles despite the fact that he hadn't played the past 2 weeks.
I don't know, but Big Dante is bringing the heat. You're not going to run on a Ron Cooper's defense. He's going to have 8 men up, and he's going to be pressing the ball all the time.
Third down situation now for Kennedy. Staying in that shotgun. Good protection. Bounces in. Touchdown.
Perfect.
B.J. Tiger, the senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the touchdown catch. His second on the season.
And Reggie Johnson, the corner for A&M, could not have made that an easier throw for Kennedy. He was way off of Tiger. Left side of the screen, you'll see Tiger has no one on him in the route. He is wide open because Reggie Johnson, the corner, was playing about 10 yards off.
The kick is up, and it is good. So Alabama State strikes first. Elms with the point after, and they lead with 11:04 left here in the first by 7. 56 seconds on this drive. Darnell Kennedy to B.J. Tiger. 12-yard touchdown connection right there. And State leads early by the score of 7-0. A 9-play drive that went 43 yards. And Alabama A&M has to be very careful that they don't get caught from behind too much. Here's Johnson on the return. Outside the 30, down the sideline, inside Hornets territory. Big-time return for Alabama A&M. That was actually Adrian Abrams with the return. 44 yards he goes and puts the Bulldogs in great field position.
Once again, special teams playing such a key part in this game, allowing both teams good field position to get their offenses going. That time Lindsey just got to the corner and turned on the Jets.
And it looks like Neal has changed numbers on me. He was number 83 prior to the game, but he figured that number 1 looked a lot better on him. So here's Chris Gunn, immediately trying to get some room, and he finds it. Ran into a defender, stays on his feet, inside the 20, down to the 13-yard line. A nice run by Chris Gunn, the freshman.
You talked about the two different quarterbacks for Alabama A&M, and Gunn was the guy they think is the more cerebral guy, the less athletic. But right now, Gunn making something happen. A bad read on the option, just reverses field. That's what happens in option football. When you go full flow, you get the whole defense one side of the field. If you're lucky enough to escape the tackle that he did, there's no one to the opposite field.
And anytime Don McPherson tells you about option football, you better listen, because he knew exactly what he was doing at Syracuse. Now they're trying to get to the outside. That's Melvin Gideon with the carry, and it looks as if he may have lost a yard. Let's take a look at our Budweiser starting lineups, brought to you by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Lewis Moore Emerson is your center, though he is hobbling with an injury. May not play much. Ron Wilson outside on that tackle. Johnny Burrows, just a freshman. They love him. A speed guy. Nicholas Wells, the best wide receiver on the team. Matt Cruz is the tight end with great hands. Second down now and 12 for the Bulldogs. Here's Gunn again on the option. Gonna get it out to Lindsey, who had that big run for 32 yards. This time, not quite as far, but still he picks up positive yards, close to 5 yards. Miller, Wilcox, Richards, Malone, and Cochran, your front line. As we take a look at our Budweiser starting lineups on the defensive side for Alabama State, Walker, Marquay Smith, one of the best tacklers in the conference at the linebackers. Antonio Hill, Erland Sanders, Roger Cade is very smart. In fact, Big Nate loves this guy. He is your quarterback on the defensive side of the football. Third down situation now for Alabama A&M, who has converted 41% of the time this season. Lindsey in motion. They actually had 2 guys in motion on that one as they try to go to Darnell. And Curtis Darnell, touchdown.
Yeah.
And you got a flag down on the 3-yard line, and we saw 2 guys moving in the backfield. It may be illegal motion.
Yeah, this one's definitely coming back. You had 2 guys in motion at the same time at the snap of the ball, and then another penalty, which might be a hold downfield against Alabama A&M. So not only is it going to be negated, but they may move back.
And that hurts. Very rarely do you find a big hole like that, you know, when you're that close inside the red zone. They say illegal shift, and there were 2 guys in the backfield moving. Both wing backs were moving at the same time.
It's amazing, George. We were here last year, and Curtis Darnell hadn't played much. All of a sudden, he pops up big. Once again, we come to the Magic City, and Cornell's name jumps out at you again.
Darnell is the kind of man that loves to play here in the Magic City Classic. He has won the MVP award here the last 3 years. He may not play well all year long, but he sure does love coming to Legion Field. So they move the team back. It looks like it's going to be marked on the 15-yard line. 3rd down and 11 for a first down. So they can get the first down without scoring. Here's Gunn. Quick 3-step drop. The pass in and out of the intended receiver, Nicholas Wells.
They had pretty fair protection there, but you know, the state defense will go a 4-3 and a 3-4.
And this time Gunn needed a little more gun on his ball. He kind of floats it out there. You see that ball just kind of float out there a little bit and didn't put it out in front of Wells, allowing Wells to run away from McGuire there in the corner.
So now Thomas Bombauer will attempt the field goal. This one from 32 yards out. Kick is up, kick is no good.
Right here, they needed that. They needed that to stay in this game. An option team is the type of team that will grind the ball, will make things go slow, try to slow the game down.
9:22 left here in the first quarter. State with the lead, State with the ball. City Classic, the 60th between these two teams, Alabama State and Alabama A&M. The tradition rich, and it's always good football. Alabama State taking advantage early on of a gaffe and getting the first 7 points of the football game. They now have possession of the ball with the 7-0 lead. Kennedy eludes one defender, still on his feet, gets past the linebacker, still on his feet, out past the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 38. Nice run by Darnell Kennedy.
You know, so much is made about Kennedy's arm and his numbers in the pass game, but his coach, L.C. Cole, told him, I want you to use your legs more often. This time he does a great job of eluding the outside linebacker, Shaw, number 91, and then gets around the corner, and once he does, he has that speed to make positive yards.
18-yard pickup for Darnell Kennedy. 1st and 10. This time they give it inside to the fullback, Larry Bias. Bias comes into the game, the second leading rusher in the SWAC, averaging 107 yards per contest. 23rd in all of Division I AA in rushing.
As I said earlier, when trying to run against a Ron Cooper's defense is almost unheard of. I mean, this guy was ranked 1st in the nation last year, giving up maybe 39 yards a game, and now he's 8th in the nation this year.
2nd down, 10. Kennedy's pass caught. Kennedy's pass good for a 1st down. Eugene Robinson with the catch takes it out to midfield.
He had to hurry that pass there due to the fact that the defensive end was bearing down on him.
Yeah, and part of that reason that the defensive end, they're working with that shorter corner is because they have so many wideouts on the field, and Alabama A&M's trying to play that 8-man front, but this offense is spreading them way too far out laterally. That's why they're getting these completions on the corners.
Check that was Eugene Johnson with the catch. This time they try the quick pass inside to Sanders. And he can't hold on to it, make it 2nd down.
Well, he had to adjust his pass there because of Dante Dawson had his arms up. Number 91, 71, the offensive tackle there. Brumfield has to cut his legs from up under where the quarterback can have a lane to throw in. She's big 71, you got to suck it up, baby. You're facing a man. Come on.
Brumfield actually was moved up on the depth chart.
Right.
Actually, it was Philip Lee who was starting throughout most of the season. The coaching staff puts the young guy Brumfield at the left tackle. In motion goes Coleman. 2nd down and 10. Kennedy looking over at the sideline and has to call another timeout. That's the 2nd timeout for Alabama State here early in the ball game, just in the first quarter. We'll talk about it when we get back. They still have a 7-0 lead. But also in total yards, 78-35, and Darnell Kennedy has been responsible for all of them, although he was forced to take a 2nd timeout, Don.
Yeah, he didn't have protection to the boundary side, which would have been his backside. I'm sure he was looking through the field where his 2 receivers were. Didn't like the defensive set. Those 2 timeouts are going to cost them at the end of this half. 2nd
down and 10. Coleman remains the motion man, the tight end for Alabama State. Kennedy going to roll left, throw. Find his receiver, Kennard Williams. Williams makes the catch, and he is inside the 40-yard line of A&M.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Kennedy just kept going to the left side, because Reggie Johnson has just been giving so much room on that corner.
14-yard pickup for Kennard Williams, the junior from Mobile. So Kennedy from Mobile passing to his boy, also from Mobile. And for Williams, that's his 13th catch of the year. This time they go inside and give it to Bias. Bias, who's averaging almost 7 yards a carry, gentlemen. Can you believe 7 yards a carry for number 32? Tavoris Nunn is the man who made the stop on it. He is now the 0 yards for the ball game because he lost actually some yards early on when he attempted to throw.
This time ASU going without the huddle, not allowing that A&M defense to get a set.
3 receivers split to the right. This time Coleman doing the motion. Johnny Cole, the offensive coordinator, said they'd move a lot. This pass on the money and unable to hold on to it is Johnson. Good pass by Kennedy.
I think that was a nice read by your quarterback there because they brought more people than they brought. As you can see right here, they brought. Now it's the receiver there.
One thing he did well is he threw that ball on time. He got rid of it right on time. As Nate, as you're talking about, he didn't have enough time to sit there in the pocket and throw it.
Good coverage by Russell McGuire there, who's a linebacker, but who they say is good enough to play cornerback at times. They are 1 for 2 on 3rd down. It is 3rd down and 8 and whistles on the field.
Big Brumfield jumped a little too quick, and Dante Dawson got him jittery.
You do a little talking down there.
Big boy said, it ain't me, man. It ain't me.
Terrence Brumfield, you're looking at, the senior from Los Angeles, California, 6'8", 308 pounds.
Hey, you better trim a little bit and move the feet. Hey, Big Philip Lee is a regular starter there, but he's out with an ankle injury. He hurt earlier in the week in practice.
So what do you think Dawson's telling the young man right now on the field?
He said, boy, do your mama know where you at out here?
3rd down, 13 will make it. Kennedy still in the shotgun. Bias is the lone setback with it. And Coleman in motion. Kennedy feeling the pressure. Kennedy finding some room. And throwing downfield. Wide open touchdown! B.J. Tiger with his 2nd touchdown reception of the game. This one good for 40 yards.
What a tremendous play all around by Darnell Kennedy. First thing he does is he keeps the play alive. He doesn't leave, he leaves the pocket, but keeps his eyes down the football field and finds Tiger coming from the opposite side of the field. And of course the defense just gets lax. You see these defensive backs falling down all over themselves because they forgot to keep their eyes on the receiver down the field.
Elm's kick is good. And Tiger, who came in with just 1 touchdown catch on the season, now has 3 after catching his 2nd to make it 14-0. The quarterback for Alabama State is 7 of 10 for 118 yards and 2 touchdown passes. He's thrown them both to B.J. Tiger. This one good for 40 yards.
Yeah, and Alabama A&M needs to do what they call a scramble drill on defense. And that means when you know a quarterback likes to throw the ball and not run, keep your secondary back when he starts to move around in the pocket. Don't come up in pursuit.
That falls a lot on your free safety, too, to know and stay with the deepest man.
And they have a loose ball on the kickoff, and Alabama State says they've got it. And it looks like they do come out of the pile with the football. Adriel Howard, the man who recovers the football, and Alabama State in great position, 1st and 10 with a 14-point lead. That last drive, 8 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You saw the 40-yard touchdown play, and now they're in position for yet another 6.
Well, we talked about from the very beginning, special teams put both teams in position to score in initial drives in the ball game. Once again, a special teams mistake put Alabama State in position to score.
Ron Cooper talked about the fact that he could not afford any turnovers. That's the 10th fumble of the season by Alabama A&M. Tiger in motion, and before they could snap the football, whistles.
Is it a delayed game?
And that is not the first time that has happened to Alabama State.
But right
today.
there, Donnell was going down the line. I think he was trying to call a play or change a play or something. So a lot had to do with the quarterback making sure he got the play in. Yeah. And the crowd is picking up.
And another reason why that might have happened is that the offense wasn't expected to be back on the field so soon. Those guys are probably already getting a drink of water.
Simple.
David Hundley, number 27, is the fullback in the backfield along with Bias. Kennedy from behind center over the middle. and his receiver went one way, and that ball was almost intercepted by Henry Freeman.
It's misread.
Yep, it looked like what they call an option route, which gives the receiver the opportunity to read the coverage and go in or out. Right side of your screen, going right down the white stripe there. Number 18, see, he just gave a look inside, then went back outside. Kennedy read his initial eyes, and it's still an outstanding day for Kennedy so far in this ball game.
And Henry Freeman, boy, you cannot let opportunities like that slip through your fingers. Not with them knocking on the door. Second down 15, they fake one way, they go the other way. Here's Bias with the catch, plenty of blockers, inside the 15, return the 5. And still waiting for a signal. They're going to say he's out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Larry Bias got free, got good blocking, and picked up big-time yards. Forced out of bounds at the 1 by Brian Houston after a 30-yard pickup.
The offensive line rolls one way. This one time, Big Brumfield falls on the ground. He's glad to let Andante go by. And he throws it to Bias, and Bias takes it to the house. Almost.
I didn't see number 71 throw too many blocks on that one, big boy.
You know, that's down the field. He's trying to deal with guys that's more athletic. But his main concern right now is when do we have to block Andante.
So State now in the red zone where they are 1 for 1 so far. They had the 12-yard touchdown play. Kennedy holds on to it. Kennedy in for a touchdown.
Just good offensive line surge. Nice play.
Darnell Kennedy with the 1-yard plunge, and it's now 20-0.
Stevenson and Big Brumfield and all those guys. That's the advantage they have over a light A&M defense.
Elms will come in to attempt the point after. He is 22 of 23 coming in. He actually now adds 3 more after he connects on his 3rd of this ball game. 25 of 26, 7 points off turnovers for Alabama State in the lead.
On this play right here, if Darnell Kennedy would have stayed a little tighter to Stevenson and Brumfield, he wouldn't even got hit. They made a great surge on the offensive line.
Like that behind view, I see all those butts up in the air.
Did it get you excited?
No, it didn't get me excited at all.
4th rushing touchdown of the season for Darnell Kennedy. As you get a good look at Thomas Elms, the freshman, also from Mobile, Alabama, kicking the football off. And Alabama A&M on the return. And this right here is on the return, number 23, John Burroughs, the freshman, who takes it outside the 20-yard line.
You know, last year LC was wondering whether his team would be ready because they came out with gold shoes last year, black undershirts, you know, all this different type stuff. But like to me, the team is ready and focused so far.
They certainly seem focused, and now here's the big challenge for A&M, down 21 points with this option attack. They don't have a quick strike ability.
5th play of the game for A&M's offense, the 20 for Alabama State. So it's been all State. As this time they try to get to the outside and nothing doing. Good defensive play by Al Walker, the linebacker, coming up and putting the pop on the runner.
And what Gunn has to do is take the option all the way to his man. That time he came up short of number 9 Cochran, and that allowed Walker to pursue up the field a little bit more quickly. He has to take that ball in the option game all the way to your option key, and you have to be getting hit while you're pitching the football. Otherwise, the defense can stretch you out.
Definitely. The inside backers have the fullback. The defensive end has the quarterback, and the corners and everybody else has the pitch man. So he has to take it all the way to the end of the line to make the proper read.
Baby.
Offsides charge to Alabama State, so despite the fact that Johnny Rowland gained no yards on the play, it's still now 1st and 5.
I'm thinking right now, as Ron Cooper, should I scrap the option right here or stay with it because it's so early in the game?
They're going to stay with it. Gunn holds on to it, and this time Gunn runs into Earl Cochran, the junior, from Bessemer, Alabama, and he would not let him get away like he did earlier in the game.
And that's right. And he must have, and Gunn must have been listening to what I said. I said, bring it all the way to the option key. I didn't say let him hit you. And this time he's got to bring it to number 9. Now he's got to get rid of it. It's hard to see from that angle, but I think he had a man outside. You can't worry about the other guys. You just have to worry about your key that's right in front of you when you're playing option football.
Third down, a little over 5. They're 0 for 1 on third downs. Gunn over the middle. Got a wide open man. He could not make the catch. In and out of the hands of Melvin Gideon.
That's the second drop ball. One on defense. That was a great opportunity for A&M. And that time by Gideon. If Gunn gets that ball out in front of Gideon, Gideon can take it the distance.
That's a fake play action pass. And he takes it a step back and throws it deep.
That's the great thing about option football. You get those linebackers getting real aggressive. You come down the line with that option fake, and it gives you some room.
So here he is on third down, and this pass is behind the intended receiver, Nicholas Wells, who was wide open, and Gunn just couldn't get the football to him.
Yeah, Wells was getting a lot of room there on the corner from McGuire, and Gunn just threw the ball, just plain and simple, right behind him.
And when you practice an 85% option. I mean, you don't practice throwing the ball. So now they doing this during the game. They're practicing, trying to get their timing during the game.
The third best punter in the SWAC, Travis Shug, is in, the senior from Chandler, Arizona, to punt the football.
Oh, good punt.
And Kennard Williams lets it bounce, takes it at about the 27, getting to the outside, down the sidelines, still on his feet, inside.
Look like the punter came up.
Bulldog territory, where they'll take over 1st and 10. So Shug makes his second tackle already in the ball game, but his team down by 3 touchdowns. Here in the first quarter, and it has been all Alabama State. The offense has looked extremely sharp thanks to the play of their quarterback, Darnell Kennedy, who throws this 12-yard touchdown to B.J. Tiger. Then rolls one way, going back the other way, finding Mr. Larry Bias on the screen pass, takes him down to the 1-yard line. That was followed by a Kennedy 1-yard plunge. So Tiger with 2 touchdown receptions, Kennedy with 1 touchdown run, and that's why it's 21-0 Alabama State, who has the football, and they're inside Bulldog territory. Kennedy gets away from a couple of would-be tacklers and picks up maybe 2-3 yards on the play.
Once again, you see Dante Dawson now. I mean, he's doing a lot of great things. He's putting pressure. They need to give him the kid a little help over there.
You look at the possessions and the touchdown. Average starting point for Alabama State is the 49-yard line of Alabama A&M. So they look like they're going to just be starting in great territory each and every time they get the football, unless, of course, A&M starts picking up some yards and winning this field position battle. Here's Bias with the carry. He looks like he picks up close to 4 or 5 yards on the run. Travoris Nunn is the one who brought him down with the tackle.
There you go. He's getting up inside the guard pull, and he's running strong, trying to get extra yard, but he's protecting that ball.
And that time, Alabama State came in with 2 tight ends. They changed the set. I like what they're doing in the pass game. They've moved Kennedy around. His launch point has changed almost every time he's been back to pass.
He's trying to stay away from the blitz.
Replay second.
Ron Cooper likes the blitz. I don't know why he isn't coming with more blitz, because right now the state team is fired up and going. They're in a rhythm and making things happen.
Well, every time they spread them out, as they are right now, with 4 wideouts in the ball game and a tight end, it's hard for them to get those guys in the back end of the box to blitz because they've got them spread out so much.
2nd and 17 after the hold, and the pass is maybe a little too hot for the intended receiver.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about a receiver. You know, you want to see how tough a guy is. Send him up in that middle, right in front of them linebackers.
I tell you, he wasn't. I don't think he was as afraid of those linebackers as he was that pass by Kennedy.
Last season, the Bulldog defense allowed 39, but that can't be right, 39 yards a game.
That's it.
That's it, huh?
Right, #1 in the nation.
Well, it's a far cry from what they did last year. Here's Kennedy over the middle, and another big-time catch by Tiger. He took a shot from Henry Freeman, and the ball hits the ground. But they're moving downfield as if he made that catch. That's a big-time play.
That is a big-time play. And Tiger holds on to this ball because
good protection.
And Freeman's just playing center field and puts his helmet right into Tiger's back.
And you know what Tiger's saying? Tiger's saying at this point, when he gets back to the other, he said, look at him, man, I played quarterback too. Come on now.
Don't hang me out like that.
Don't hang me out like that.
Yeah, he went to the sideline for some oxygen first.
Yeah, some pain pills, baby. It's called Excedrin.
3 receptions for 76 yards for Tiger. 2 of those going for touchdowns. And another completed pass for Alabama State. This time, Mayshawn Sanders with the catch inside the 15-yard line down to the 12.
They've done a nice job of blocking up front. They're doing a nice job of blocking up front. You still see a little bit of Dawson leaking in, but that offensive line is holding strong. Big Stevenson, Lord Carlton, the center, Brumfield, the senior, on the right side.
And Kennedy's just doing a great job of spreading the ball around. Everybody getting involved. Crenshaw dropped the pass. That one goes to Sanders. And, of course, Tiger's had a couple of catches as well. Here they are this time, going to try it up the middle with Bias.
I'm thinking that's a good call because you got guys that's trying to blitz, trying to get upfield. You know, give your lineman a breather and say, hey, just take them wherever they go.
I'm wondering why Kennedy went down on the ground. I don't know if he tripped or if he wanted him to see. You want to fool him, make it look like he had the ball. He went down, the play's over.
Well, you know, they say the difference in Kennedy this year is that he's not so concerned with the individual, more with the team effort, more with winning football games, and knows that more accolades will come if you win as opposed to the individual stats. So maybe that's part of that team play that you're talking about right there, John. It is second down. Kennedy with a little hold. Kennedy going to hold on to it. And Kennedy gets inside the 5-yard line, dragged down by Ali Hassan, but not till he gets to around the 3-yard line.
As you see right here, they let him go. I don't think he wanted to pass. They like he wanted to run from the start. He just set him up real good, but the true freshman, number 99, Hanson, came up and made the play.
He didn't do too bad dragging that freshman for about 6 yards.
Down there, he playing with a lot of enthusiasm. When the quarterback plays with confidence, it just makes the rest of the team feel good.
He has rushed for 28 yards so far in this ball game. This time, they give it inside to the fullback, David Hundley. And Hundley picks up a couple of yards.
Behind big Lord Carlton, the center.
They had an opportunity to get the first down if they had gotten to the 2-yard line. So it looks like they're going to have first and goal. Right. Hassan, again, the man who makes the stop.
A true freshman.
And there's Johnny Cole there on the left, their offensive coordinator, who has seen some great quarterbacks in his day. Coached, of course, Chris Perkins at Tennessee State. Leon Murray, who was also at Tennessee State when they were undefeated, and now has Darnell Kennedy. And he has done a tremendous job with his quarterbacks and has Kennedy playing extremely well. First and goal, inside handoff, and it looks like it's going to be good enough for a touchdown, but a flag was thrown in there. And A&M is going to say they get the football back. And they're coming out as if, yes, they did get the football.
They needed it.
That's a big-time play for the Bulldog defense, who is facing a 28-0 deficit. But the one thing needed was a turnover, and Lionel Macklin holding on to the football right now as if he recovered the fumble.
Yeah, A&M has had some opportunities on some turnovers, and this one is huge because, George, you're exactly right. In their option attack, they don't have 28 points in them in another half. So this is a huge turnover. That ball just squirts out there. No helmet on the ball, just
loose ball carry. When you're that tight as a fullback, you don't get to run the ball that often anyway. You have to just tighten it up and squeeze with both hands. David Hundley should have both hands covering that ball, but he saw the end zone instead of doing the correct technique.
It looked like the former fullback, Travaris Nunn, number 40, is the guy who came flying in and knocked the ball loose. First and 10 now for the Bulldogs. Gunn going to hold on to it. Gunn still on his feet. Gets a first down out by the 34-yard line. 14-yard pickup for Chris Gunn, finally brought down by Al Walker. And we've come to the end of 1 quarter of play. Alabama State been in control all game long. Darnell Kennedy has been Johnny on the spot. And obviously, Alabama A&M looking for ways defensively, I would assume, to try to stop this Alabama State attack.
What they're trying to do is tell guys, stay in your lane. Don't panic. Just stay in your lane, and let's try to press these guys. They shouldn't be able to run on us.
Exactly right. And also you can see there were only 4 lines coming into the backfield. In other words, you have so many guys in the secondary to cover those 4 wideouts going down the field.
And it just speaks volumes for Kennedy's ability to find the open man. I mean, if you're keeping that many guys back defensively, he's still finding guys wide open.
Wide open.
Make sure you get it throughout the bit. Now, look for the blitz now. Still look for the blitz. If they come up in us like this and try to come, and we run a 90 hitch, all right, get to the middle of the damn field, right?
You hear Johnny Cole, 90 hitch. That's a short, quick passing game.
This time, the option, they pitch it to Burrows, the freshman. Picks up close to 8 yards on the play. That's what Alabama A&M needs to do, I would assume, right now. Keep the ball on the ground, try to work their way downfield, take some time off this clock to get points.
No question about it. And this time, Gunn brings it all the way to Cochran. Number 9, that's his read. That gives him the corner. He's got Lindsey out in front of him. He's got some room. They have to get plays where they can get first downs, consistent first downs, eat up some of this clock.
Look at the total yards, passing-wise, Alabama State, 188 to nothing for A&M. And A&M still not throwing the football. This time, they give it to Jonathan Rowland.
Right here, they just trying to get a little rhythm. And once they get a little rhythm and everybody starts feeling comfortable, then they will have to pass, because I don't think that they can run their way back in this game. You know, I may be mistaken, but they will have to pass sometime during this game if State stays on key with Darnell.
So A&M gets its 3rd first down of the football game. State already has 11 to their credit. 1st and 10. Gunn on the option. Gunn holding on to the football, and credit the safety, Roger Cade, who came up and made the play.
And the safety in the option defense is kind of the X factor. He's the guy who's accounted for with the quarterback. The problem is he's never that close to the line of scrimmage. And this time you'll see Cade just shoot from the left side of the screen. He's the guy that's not accounted for in option football, the free safety.
And he is the 3rd leading tackler on this defense.
And Andre Waters, the defensive back coach, said this guy Cade is not a real fast guy, but he's a smart football player. He's got great instincts, and he knows when to come up and make those tight plays.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Again, Gunn throws it. And again, it is too short for his intended receiver. Antonio Hill was there defensively, covering Dondra Holcomb.
It just looked like the receivers are not confident in trying to get down the field. Right there, that receiver was supposed to come off the line and get down the field.
But with that having been said, don't you think Gunn should be whipping that football in, being a little bit more confident about throwing that football with some sense of intention?
No question about it. He hasn't thrown the ball with any type of accuracy, or like you're saying, any kind of intent at all. Everything's kind of floating out there, and he's been very inaccurate with just about every attempt.
A&M 0 for 2 on 3rd down opportunities in this football game. Looking for one. Gunn going to hold on to it, and he's not going to be close to a first down. Finally tackled by Marquay Smith. And going to be about 7 yards shy of a first down. So that'll bring in the punting unit. Travis Shugg onto the field with his 39 yards per punt average.
That was a nice tackle by Marquay. He worked on that doing the open field tackling. And the coach said he's gotten much better. And that was a great open field tackle by Marquay Smith.
So Kennard Williams back to receive the punt. Gonna let it bounce. Bounce out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Alabama State.
Right there.
So Alabama State with a 21-0 lead. And this portion of today's game is brought to you by Coca-Cola. 12:44 left here in the first half. And Alabama State with the football. Gentlemen, do you keep throwing the football, Big Nate, or do you now maybe go to that ground attack if you're Alabama State?
You keep doing what you're doing this early in the game, because even though they're up by a lot of points here, freak things can happen. The defense can shut down, can shut you down for a couple of plays, get a few turnovers. So you keep your rhythm and keep doing what you're doing at this point in the game. 4th quarter, up by 21, run it out.
Yeah, I agree. I think you stick with your game plan. And look, you go back to their last series when they had the ball. They came in a couple sets with 2 tight ends and started to run the ball with bias in the middle. I think they're trying to do that just to keep this game under control and keep their flow going. But I would stick with the wide open attack and let him have it.
Time now for a commercial break. 12:44 left. This portion of today's game is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Along with Nate Newton and Don McPherson is Alabama State with a 3-touchdown lead, has the football 1st and 10. Working against Alabama A&M and completing their pass. This time it's Johnson on the catch and working his way close to yet another Alabama State 1st down. Johnson, the senior from Houston, Texas, came in the 2nd leading receiver on the club, averaging 12 yards every time he caught it, and he got a 1st down on that play.
You got it thanks to some very poor tackling on the corner.
1st and 10 for Kennedy. Plenty of time. That one over the middle, and I didn't know whether it was intended for Crenshaw or for the tight end, Chris Coleman.
At this point in time, somewhere in this game, the defense of A&M has to stay off the field. The offense has to come in there and give them a breather because, as you said earlier, the tackling is going to get poorer and poorer. And after a while, one of them quick outs is going to be going to the house for 90 yards.
Yeah, there's no question. And now with the State not huddling, it doesn't allow that Alabama A&M defense to get even a little bit of a rest.
Or either one of us. Here's Kennedy. Off the snap, going to hold on to the football. Wow. He took a shot that time from Antonio Wallace, the junior from Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, from where?
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, come on home, boy. Bring it like that, all right?
You know, indecision got the best of Kennedy right now. He didn't know whether to go right or left. Watch him. Right, left, nope. Oh. Right in the mouth.
Yeah, but he got that clothes hanger, so he'll know next time.
That's right.
He's an experienced quarterback. He will slide next time.
That's right. Remember next time.
Don't let Orlando catch up to him, huh?
That's right.
3rd down. The State. Kennedy, good protection. Complete to Johnson and another 1st down. It looked like Holt made a move. Martell Holt, number 15, for the football. Missed on it, and they complete the pass to Eugene Johnson for the 1st down. He's brought down by Turner.
And I'll tell you something, Holt would have been able to make a play underneath that pass if Kennedy didn't keep his eyes down the field. Kennedy kept his eyes down the field, and that kept the coverage inside, kept him tight, and then he went outside with the pass. Nice job by the quarterback.
Big Lloyd Carlton, David Stevenson, Bromfield doing a great job of just blocking up front.
Kennedy over the middle. Kennedy's pass off the fingertips of his intended receiver, and that's Casey Sellers, the junior. Who has just 1 catch on the season.
Look at this great blocking by the center. Coming back, helping, banging in the middle. That allows him to step up into the pocket and make the pass. Try to complete the pass.
Sellers sometimes doubling as a fullback. As you look at Kennedy, 12 of 18 throwing the football so far in this football game. 2nd down and 10. He's back in the shotgun. As Nate said, you do what you do best, and throwing the football is what Alabama State does best. Kennedy off the wild snap, regains it, finds a receiver, gets yet another 1st down as Sanders makes the catch.
Well, you have to be impressed with Kennedy's athleticism, not just his arm. He threw that nice touch pass the previous play to Sellers, but this time catches a bad snap. He might have been going that way to begin with, but catches this bad snap and is able to get his feet around and throw this ball with tremendous accuracy.
And I don't know if it was really a bad snap because he had to go to that side anyway, so the center was making an adjustment.
Exactly right. That's what I said. He was on that way in his roll.
This time they give the ball inside to Bias. Bias picks up about 3 yards on the play. Make it 2nd down and 7.
See, most teams run to set up the pass, but in the State's defense, they pass to set up the run.
Good blocking again for Kennedy, and another wide open receiver, Sanders, getting behind the defense. And Reggie Johnson, number 4, looked like he was out of position.
Yeah, Reggie Johnson's been out of position all day long. But to the play, look at the block by Bias, just enough to give Kennedy space to throw the football.
They figured out a way to contain Adante Dawson, and the rest is history. Now they're just pulling backs out of there, putting them on linebackers, making things happen.
Now Kennedy is in the slot, and Tiger is your quarterback. He is the 2nd-string quarterback. He gives it inside to the halfback, Bias. But it's interesting why Kennedy would go in the slot in that instance. Maybe it's the hand bothering him.
He seems to be holding the hand, but I don't think that would be a reason to send him out in the slot. I think if his hand is hurt that bad, you call a timeout and you regroup. And
remember, they don't have many of those right now.
That's right. Exactly right.
See, Kennedy's hand is hurting him right here. So do they make the adjustment? He tells Tiger, come take the snap.
And that's it. You got two quarterbacks on the field. Might as well take advantage.
Here is Kennedy now in the shotgun. 2nd down and 10. And he has a receiver wide open for a touchdown. And that's Chris Coleman.
Hurt that ankle. Get up, big boy.
So much for the bad hand.
But it looks like the receiver, Coleman, is in the end zone, and he's shaken up. Chris Coleman, the junior from Boca Raton, Florida, was wide open on this play for a touchdown.
And you can tell just by the way he threw that, he knew exactly what he had from the defense.
And he hits him in that knee, and he's already scored a touchdown.
And, well, the ankle, he kind of rolled over it.
He kind of rolled over
that
that
ankle.
Bad position there, as you see, a bad position.
He's walking, and that's a good sign. So Elms will come in to attempt the point after. Kick is up, kick is good. And it is 28-0. Alabama State. It came in 4-2, looking to go 4-1 in SWAC play. Ball, they get their 4th touchdown of the game to Chris Coleman, but it may have come with a price.
Yeah, it definitely came with a price. This is just a very awkward way for him to come down backwards and over to the left on that knee and just gets it wrapped underneath the safety.
Right, and he's fortunate he didn't have that foot jammed in the ground. Dude, it would have broke.
So Darnell Kennedy with that touchdown pass goes over 10,000 career passing yards, as he is 15 of 22 for 261 in this ball game and 3 touchdowns. He's the all-time leading passer for Alabama State, coming in with over 9,700 yards throwing. And he's still got several games to go. A&M trying to answer. That's Burrows with the return. And he's close to the 28-yard line, where the Bulldogs take over 1st and 10. Another player picking himself up off the turf for Alabama A&M. As we said, Kennedy having a huge day. 3 touchdown passes.
That's you can go home now. That's fine.
That's 15 for that's 15 passes, touchdown passes for the season.
Most guys on Sundays don't do that well.
That's right. You know,
another player down for Alabama State, and that's Lafayette Simpkins. He looks slow to get up.
You look at Kennedy's number, and you talk about he's 3rd in the SWAC conference all time. You think of those 2 guys that are in front of him, and then those slouches. You got Willie Totten and Steve McNair. You got 2 outstanding quarterbacks that he is chasing.
And I must say that I got this real funny feeling he won't catch McNair.
He's not going to catch McNair. He needs more eligibility to catch McNair.
New quarterback in for Alabama A&M, and it's Jacob Wilson. The junior from Mobile was completed just 4 of 7 passes on the season. Here he is on the option, giving it to the freshman Burrows, and nothing doing again. Cochran is there defensively. And number 9 has done a good job defensively here in the first half.
He's a serious player. You know, talking to the coach, say he's the best pass rusher they have, but he's playing his options to perfection. But what my deal is right here is you bring this kid in, Wilson, only to run the option to be defeated again. I mean, you're not going to bring him in and try to change up the offense, do a little more passing.
He hasn't thrown the ball a whole heck of a lot, Nate. 7 times on the season.
Well, you're down by 20-something points. You got to pass sooner or later.
Well, they lost 5 yards on that play, so it's 2nd down and 15. This time they fake the option. Jacobs still has it. Jacobs is dumped. for another loss, and that's Al Walker. The sophomore from Riverdale, Georgia.
Walk right up the middle and into a sack.
And let me tell you something. All he had to do was throw his football because he had a guy down the field wide open. It's a fake reverse off the option. If he let it go when he was looking downfield, he had a guy wide open. It could have been 6.
But that's what happens when you bring a guy in off the bench. He's not in the rhythm of the game. He's going to be a little tentative.
Absolutely right.
Walker continues to be a demon. Third solo tackle today for big number 56.
I'm talking to the coach with him. He's just a plug. He's the type of guy. He's just a mean, dirty, nasty football player.
He was the third leading tackler on the team last year.
But he can't even sit still, man. He's just trembling out there.
Just a sophomore, folks. Get used to the name Walker. And this time, Jacob's throwing downfield, and it is behind his intended receiver, Holcomb.
You know, I'm thinking if you're going to try to start a pass game, get some stuff, some short stuff, get some stuff completed first. Don't just take it downfield. You know, these guys are not going to not let you get behind them.
We were told that there are 3 quarterbacks they like, but the one guy we won't see is Jonathan Harris. He's more the pocket-type quarterback. With the situation that they're in right now, do they change their mind and go to him anyway?
The smart coach would. Not saying coach not smart, but if I was down there, I would go with it.
Sure, punting the football. And it's going to roll dead at the 49-yard line of Alabama State. A 32-yard kick, no return on that one. As Alabama A&M's defense has to pick it up and make another stop. The 60th Magic City Classic, leading 28-0. The Southwest Airlines Black College Football presentation here on BET. Hornets have been in control from start to where we stand right now. Kennedy gives it to Bias on the outside, and the tailback picks it close to 10 yards. You look at the total offense, and Alabama State came in averaging 414 total yards, second best in the conference. They now have 306 in this ball game to Alabama A&M 65.
And we still have 7 minutes left in the first half.
As you can see, A&M kids are still in it. They're not wondering. They stand focused in the game. When you start seeing guys look up at the clock, that's when you got to worry. But right now, they're still into the game.
I formation now for the Hornets. Hunley is your up back. Bias your deep. 2 receivers split to the right for Kennedy. Now he's getting some motion out there as they go into the split formation. A&M anticipating the count. Johnson makes a nice catch right there. Brought down after the catch by Turner.
And Lionel Mackey made a nice play of just coming up the middle and disrupting everything. I mean, they took their time and checked off over there on the state side, but Lionel Mackey said, hey, I'm going for it this time.
Yeah, and that A&M front is going to start to look back at the secondary and say, you all need to start making some plays, because they've done a halfway decent job of getting some pressure on Kennedy from time to time, and they need better coverage down the field.
And he also needed buckle up their bootstraps. State averaging almost 8 yards every time they run a play. Second down and 1 yard to go for a first. Whistle's blown. And
Dead ball, delay of game.
That's
Alabama
the third one for Kennedy so far today. It's really odd to see from a veteran quarterback. Too much chatter going on, too many different formations they're using.
And with that having been said, in a game like this, it doesn't hurt you as much. But if you get later on in the season against one of the better teams like a Grambling or something, it's going to make a big difference.
Clock management is something you work on no matter what the condition of the game is. You should always be working on clock management.
Second down now. Let's make it 6. Kennedy still checking at the line. Over the middle, pass is complete. And Tiger makes the catch, drops the football, didn't hear a whistle.
It's down. You know, on that last play, Mackey was going to try to
And they're going to say that Alabama A&M got the football. I didn't hear a whistle, but it looked like he was down.
Wow, it seemed like he was down for a while.
But the whistle wasn't blown.
Exactly.
That's when it's dead.
The swag is back. They say you would see some funny things in the swag.
And LC Cole seems like he's not going to argue this one. He's going to let it go. He's just trying to get his team off the field.
Was he down? Oh, no. Yes, he was.
Oh, he was down.
Yes, he was down. I mean, what you need there?
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, who recover their 2nd fumble of the football game.
So somebody, you know, did we announce the officials before the game because they want to be a part of the broadcast?
Here's your list. Here's your list.
Before Nate starts to get some guys
let's
in
get
trouble.
the referee and Richard Drake and the umpire and George Stadler. You know what I'm saying? We need to introduce these people because we have a game to play, fellas.
2nd down and 7. Wilson is still your quarterback. Fakes it inside, holds on to the football. Still on his feet as he tries to get away from Roger Cade, but Cade wouldn't let him go. But still, Wilson gets close to a 1st down.
And like you say, Don, that's nice work there by the line. He just takes off running. Cade comes up, refuses to let him go.
Wilson is a big kid, 6'4", 225 pounds.
Yeah, he's a solid quarterback. I've seen his arm. He doesn't really have the arm strength of a guy his size, so his best bet is to continue to try to make runs like that one.
He's a junior.
Go get the guy that can pass. Put him off the bench and say, son, our future rests on you.
Here comes the pressure again. All by himself. Cochran.
Speed will kill. And that's what happened. He just came off the backside, unblocked, and ran the quarterback down. This is supposed to be the fast guy of the 2 quarterbacks. He knifed down inside. The tackle's supposed to come down and cut him off, but didn't. He reaches out with a long reach and wraps him up. I know he's hoping for a sack. You know, them defensive guys are always looking for a cheap sack.
That's his 2nd sack of the ball game. He now has 6.5 on the season. Inside handoff for A&M as they give it to the fullback.
You know, maybe Coach Cooper is saying to himself, hey, if I'm going to do this option, I'm going to stay with it regardless. We can be down 100 and then some coaches will make up their mind that, hey, this is my offense, I'm going to stay with it. And I'm hoping this is the case here.
And part of the option attack is that you spend so much time during the week getting the option right, getting the interior read and the triple option down that you don't have time to work out the timing of a passing game. And so they might not have a passing game to go to.
After Minter's run, 3rd down and 7, they're 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. Over the middle, Wilson to his receiver, who makes the catch this time. And that was a big-time play by Curtis Donnell, who was interfered while he was trying to make the catch. Again, that ball behind him, though, Don.
Well, that ball's way back. It's hard
great
to see
protection
where he threw this.
To the last minute.
It's hard to see where he was throwing this ball, and it was so far behind. That's why you got the interference call.
Rayvon Butler was the man.
Gonna be 1st down.
Rayvon Butler was the man on the defensive side of that play, the sophomore from Garland, Texas.
Rayvon took a lot of heat last year because he was getting, you know, kind of beat here and there in tight situations.
How do you get kind of beat?
You know, I don't want to just knock the kid confidence at all.
It's either a touchdown or a long play.
You either get beat or you don't get beat.
As we see right here, it is a long play.
He caught the ball.
You know, Andre Waters, Dirty Waters with the Eagles. You know, Don played with him. I played against him. You know, he just told me to throw some good things out there about him, and I tried. Dirty Waters.
He told me he was gonna get you if you called him Dirty Waters.
Look at the completions right there. Alabama State 17-1. State has already used 7 different receivers in this ball game.
You know, I hear a lot of people say that 7 different receivers. What did that mean, Don? I mean, 7 different receivers.
That means that the quarterback is scanning the field and they're using different formations, different personnel. That's what it means. It means he's making some excellent reads in the pass game.
Curtis Donnell had the pitch, had a good block ahead of him, just didn't have the legs to get there.
He's probably shocked that he had the ball on the perimeter with a blocker in front of him. It's been some time, and these are the kind of little mistakes that Coach Cooper just can't afford. They have got to capitalize on turnovers. They've got to capitalize right now on great field position. They have to come out of this with points.
Under 3 minutes left here in our 2nd quarter, and they trail by 4 touchdowns. So as Don alludes to the fact that they really need to put some points on the board this time downfield. They had an opportunity with a botched field goal earlier in the football game. See if they can make good. This time, Wilson holds on to the football and nothing doing. The defense is there. Keith Miller, number 53, was in on the play.
Well, I don't know what the kid is doing. I mean, it looks like it's a slow option of some sort because he's taking too much time to get the option started.
Well, he just missed that pitch. He had to make that pitch to Gideon. He held on to the football. Gideon had the corner if he makes the pitch.
Keep in mind, the band's warming it up.
It's maybe the best thing about A&M football you're going to love today.
There they are. Again, trying the option. Wilson stays on his feet, throws out in the flat for Gideon. And that was close to being a fumble if it was behind him. 1:48 left. We'll be right back. On defense, and trying to protect a 28-0 lead. A&M with a 4th down situation, and they're going to go for it. Wilson throws the football. Pass is complete to Darnell. No, it's incomplete. He dropped the football.
Everybody's playing. The defense is pumped up. The offense has been doing an excellent job of state. So the defense is feeding off of them, and it seems like A&M can do nothing right.
Time now for today's trivia question, brought to you by Coca-Cola. And what former Alabama State running back led the New York Jets in rushing back in 1992? I brought this up because we got the former New York Jet. No, the former Eagle. In the booth with us. And that's Don McPherson, the quarterback.
And he doesn't even know.
We'll have more after this. Our trivia question brought to you by Coca-Cola. The question was, what former Alabama State running back led the New York Jets in rushing back in '92? You got an answer there?
Yes.
You do. Never mind, and I don't want to hear from you.
Oh, we giving the answer now?
Oh, do you have it?
I told you I didn't know, but I'm cheating because it's Brad Baxter.
We should pull him back in here today, huh? Trying to sign up with A&M.
They don't need any running at Alabama State right now. Although they do give it inside. The bias is the clock continues to roll here in the first half. Under a minute and a half left in the game. And it's been all Hornets. And actually, a minute and a half left in the half because I'm really ready to wrap this thing up right now, I would assume.
But it was a great blocking by Lord Carlton, David, Stevenson, and Brumfield. I mean, he just came off the right side of the ball and got nice yardage. Bias, that is.
Well, George, you're talking about the game. I think that was a big stop for A&M. Because right now, I think they're a little demoralized, and that stop was their last chance at points in this half.
And they give it inside again to their fullback, and Alabama State close to another first down. More after this. Here at Legion Field, where that Alabama A&M band preparing for a little showtime at halftime. You'll see it here on BET on our Southwest Airlines halftime report. The state continues to keep the football on the ground. That's Adderall Howard.
Just taking advantage of that big offensive line.
Carry.
Big Brumfield.
So that'll be the last play here in the first half. And if you're Alabama A&M, what are you thinking, Nate, as you go?
I'm thinking I'm going in and telling my kids, hold on, baby, because this Bronco is about to get loose.
They have to get a little scared right now.
Definitely.
So it is halftime here at the 60th Magic City Classic here on BET. It's been all Alabama State, 28-0. Our Southwest Airlines halftime report follows. Halftime report is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And welcome back to Legion Field. Alabama A&M's band has been red hot. Let's join them in action. A&M, where you at? Where you at? Oh. Shake, 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 and now, ladies and gentlemen, the band transitions to the formation AAMU for the greatest university on this planet, Alabama A&M University. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Alabama A&M
University and her court. Miss Freshman, Miss Kimberly Brown from Southfield, Michigan, majoring in music business and escorted by Michael Jordan. Miss Sophomore, Miss Valerie Rivers, a marketing major from Detroit, Michigan, escorted by Patrick Mallory. Miss Junior, Miss Alicia Summons, a biology major from Mayfield, Kentucky, escorted by Adrian Ware. Miss Senior, Miss April Brown, a double major in elementary and early childhood education from Northport, Alabama. She's escorted by Carl Anderson. Miss Alabama A&M University alumni is escorted by Omari Robson. She is none other than Jamel Moss Pope. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Alabama A&M University for 2001-2002, the lovely Madeline B. Howes, a music major in voice from Fairfield, Alabama, escorted by Don Calloway, president of the SGA. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Alabama A&M University and her court.
Hey, Alabama State, things are about to suck for you because we're about to straight make it ugly up in here. No doubt. Stop. Switch the beat on them. Birmingham, yo. Get your freak on. No doubt. Slide with it. Slide with it. Switch. No doubt. Come on, Mariah Parker. Let's go.
Give the A&M band your enthusiastic applause as they leave the field. Alabama A&M is one of America's outstanding 1899 graduate institutions where high achievement and excellence is the primary aim. Our president is John T. Gibson. Your announcer and DJ have been Horace Carney and Terrence Randolph. Thank you for your support.
And Alabama A&M's band celebrating, but the Bulldog football team not. They caught up to their head coach before he went into the half. Coach Cooper, obviously first half offense seemed to struggle a little bit. What is your plan in the second half? Do you stick with that option?
Well, yeah, we're definitely going to stick with it. We just hadn't had a chance to give the ball to our offense. They've taken it to our defense. We got to make sure that we play the better defense. Got to make a couple of adjustments. He's picking us apart right now. They're moving at will, and we had a turnover to help them score one. But we're definitely not playing well on defense. We're going to get it going on offense, but we got to step up and play better defense.
Very quickly, Coach, what's your plan in the second half? Will we see Chris Gunn again, Wilson, or maybe Harris?
Chris Gunn will definitely play some more if he's healthy enough. We're going to keep rotating he and Jacob Wilson and see what we can do from there.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Head coach Ron Cooper, his club trailing 28-0 with still halftime. We'll have Alabama State's band when we get back. It's the 60th Magic City Classic, halftime here, and Alabama State in the lead 28-0. And also with the band on the field performing, the mighty Marching Hornets, for your pleasure.
Dancing to my... the Stingers.
What do you want to talk about?
You know, I think this is what Alabama A&M was trying to do. Known as the famous double time. And now watch the blood span as it gets down to faith ends. Jada Kiss to the now. R. Kelly.
Alabama State today. Get up! The football team ain't the only one that's gonna bring it home. We gonna make it. Snap, snap, try. We gonna make ASU. We gonna make it. Snap, snap, try. I know you think it's over, but the show ain't over until we lead this big. Get up! They don't really want none. Hey, we know they look, now when you get your double time, you get it from the Hornets. When you get your shot, you get it from the Hornets. When you get your double time, look. Now when you get that double time, they get it from the Hornets. When they get their shot from, they get it from the Hornets. Shake. Do the Hornets run this mother? What do the Hornets run this mother?
And one time for the White Hornets. Shaking it.
I just freaked it. Look, I got love. Say my
As you can tell, it doesn't get much funkier than that. ASU on the mic. We'll have more as we get on the mic after this. Birmingham, Alabama, the Magic City Classic, and Alabama State has been in control from the start of this football game and lead by 4 touchdowns. We take a look at our first half highlights, and don't be surprised if it's all Hornets.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if it's Darnell Kennedy making it happen from the pocket to Tiger, and then on the scramble, which he was so impressive with his feet, keeping plays alive. And this one, he kept his eyes downfield and allowed Tiger to come from the other side of the field for the touchdown.
As you say, Don, with his feet, he snuggles in here behind the big offensive line for one. And then he takes his time here and throws to Chris Coleman, the big tight end, who avoids injury.
And thank goodness for ASU, Coleman's knee is okay.
Kennedy, 17 of 24 in the first half. As you take a look at the game statistics team-wise, 275 yards passing for Alabama State, and they've run the ball for 18 yards. But boy, a big difference between the way things are going. That's actually 18 first downs for Alabama State, 5 of 30 in penalties, 2 of 10 for Alabama A&M, and that time of possession, of course, huge. 18 minutes for Alabama State to just under 12 for A&M. Standing by now, the head coach of Alabama State, L.C. Cole. And Coach, first half, teams seem to be grooving. That offense running on all cylinders.
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job on everything, special teams, offense and defense, and that's what we need to do is to win the game.
Were you surprised that Alabama A&M didn't throw the football a little bit more on you and just decided to keep it on the ground?
Well, no, because, you know, it's different philosophies. You don't never give up on something you've been practicing all week long.
Last but not least, I know you have the big lead. Do you have the same philosophy in the second half? Keep throwing that football, or we're going to see a little bit more from bias?
We're not going to cut down. We're going to keep the pressure up, keep the heat up, playing good defense and special teams.
Thanks again, Coach. Good luck to you second half.
All right.
Head coach L.C. Cole in his second year here at Alabama State. And his Hornets, they're just rolling, gentlemen. They lead 28-0. And we'll have more from Southwest Airlines halftime report right after this. Today's halftime report has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Control this one 28-0. George Johnson along with Don McPherson and Nate Newton. Halftime, and very quickly, when you think about Alabama State, it starts with Darnell Kennedy. It ends with Darnell Kennedy.
No question about it. But you look at also Darnell Kennedy has spread the ball around to 7 different receivers. So it's not just Darnell Kennedy with his arm, but also with his mind. He's done an excellent job of spreading the ball around.
Meanwhile, Ron Cooper says that he's going to stay with that option. And that means that not only does the offense have to pick it up, but the defense has to shut things down. How about our Dante Dawson?
Dante Dawson has done a super job. He's put a lot of pressure. He's got Phillips out of the game, the starting tackle, to bring in Brumfield, and he's had to slow down. So now they got to bring a guy over to help slow Dante down. He's doing a great job, but they have to decide which quarterback they want.
They also going to have to do a better job in that secondary, shutting down those Alabama State receivers. 7 receivers with catches in this one, and that is why they are in control. They lead by the score of 28-0. We'll go to commercial break, and we will have second half action. Alabama State, Alabama A&M coming your way right here on BET. Here in Birmingham, Alabama, halftime just about over here as Alabama State and Alabama A&M getting ready to start things for the second half. And moments before this, Charles Barkley was honored by the folks here at the Magic City Classic. This is what he had to say.
Barkley to make a brief statement. Sir Charles Barkley.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. It is a great day for me to share the field with the Tuskegee Airmen. And also, somebody I really admire, Coach Boone. And I just want to thank him, and I want to thank the Airmen, and I will never let them down. I'm always going to do my best, and I'm always going to be successful. Thank you.
Ladies. Charles Barkley, of course, with the Tuskegee Airmen. And also, he talked about Coach Boone, and a guy who obviously will go down in history as one of the great coaches, never at the pro ranks, never at the collegiate ranks, but his impact at the high school ranks.
And no question, the film Remember the Titans, that's the Coach Boone we're talking about, that Charles was talking about, who was here. He spoke at a luncheon yesterday to both of these teams, and you're right, his legacy goes far beyond the playing field, and for a guy to have such an impact on society and on the game of football, who was not a professional coach, is really remarkable.
It was unbelievable sitting back and listening to some of the stories that he had yesterday about his experiences. Stories that he felt comfortable about talking, and then stories that he didn't feel so comfortable about talking.
Absolutely. I asked him the simple question is how much of the film was accurate, and when he started talking about all the things that weren't in the film, you can see the emotions are still there and still very high for him.
Well, obviously, Alabama A&M better reach down and find some emotion, look in the mirror and say to themselves, hey, listen, we're getting punched in the mouth right now. It's time to rebound.
I either get Coach Boone and let him tell some of these stories on how really hard, on real adversity.
So here's Burrows going to take it at the 15-yard line, the freshman, looking for some running room on the kickoff, and picks up about 7 yards on the return. It'll be 1st and 10, Alabama A&M. In the first half, they completed 1 pass, folks, for 33 yards. Chris Gunn, who was 0 for 4 in the first half, is back at quarterback, your starter. Gunn struggled. He did run the football 5 times for 59 yards. A lot of that was just to save himself from the pressure of Alabama State. And Coach Cooper Cooper said they would keep it on the ground, and they give it to Jonathan Rowland, the sophomore, inside. He picks up a couple.
You know, one thing about the option, it's hard to defense if ran to perfection. But once you bog it down, it turns into just a mess. And right now, I mean, the state defense is all over.
Total yards in the first half for A&M, just 33 to 275 by Alabama State. Second down and 8. Gunn gonna fake it. Gunn gonna throw the football. Got a wide open receiver. And a good defensive play by Ronald Dillon, who we didn't see on the 2 deep, but has made a huge impact defensively in this game.
They ran that same play in the first half. As you can see right here, he fakes, drop back. They ran that same play right there in the first half. The receiver missed it. This time, State makes the play on it.
You got to look where Gunn is throwing the ball. He's flat-footed. He's not putting anything on it.
Gunn gonna fake the pass, hold on to it, and get chased down by Keith Miller from behind. Also, Shamarcus Wilcox in on the tackle. He'll be well short of a first down, forcing them to punt the football.
Gunn's got to take a full drop. He didn't take a full drop there and then held on to the football. He's got to get to his depth. He's got to throw the ball on time. They don't have the luxury to stand in the pocket and look around.
Because once you let a defense start feeding, the freezy just get out of hand.
Shug, who averaged 36 yards per punt in the first half, kicking it to Williams. Got a little hole, still on his feet at midfield, and finally dragged down at about the 44-yard line. Nice return by Kennard Williams. That good for 27 yards. Alabama State has had good field position all day long. Why would this be any different? Williams making things happen. He always does. 18 yards per return every time he touches it.
Yeah, and it was a short punt, so the A&M coverage just overran the kick, and he had plenty of room in the middle because everyone just ran right past him.
Look at the possessions for Alabama State. They get 3 touchdowns in a row, fumble the football, then score again, but fumble. But they have yet to punt the football, and they have the best punter in the whole conference in David Beckford. He came off for an instant there. He was going to punt and try to trap him down in the first half, but then he decided against it. Got the penalty and the first down and the touchdown. Here's Kennedy. And his first pass of the second half is complete. They start the second half the way they started the first half. Kennedy to Tiger.
And if I can criticize Kennedy for anything, that ball was just a little bit behind. Otherwise, he would have been dead on target all day. That was an excellent catch by Tiger.
Tiger receiving in the first half, 4 catches for 91 yards and 2 scores.
Under pressure. It was a little behind him because Dante Dawson was in his face again. They got to get that kid over there, Brumfield, some help. Nowhere Dante Dawson is.
Second down and 2. Bias goes in motion, the setback. He's got 4 receivers to the right. And had his choice of guys to go to.
Robert King, off sides for A&M. He's in a hurry, trying to make something happen. He can't press. He's already have a sense of urgency, but don't press too far.
Here we go.
So the penalty was actually charged to State in that instance.
Oh.
So they move him back. Make it now second down and 7.
So King must saw something we didn't. He must got a little guy trembling over. That's Tango McCauley.
Got McCauley on the side. McCauley give him a little wink.
Yeah, he's trembling a little bit.
McCauley, the transfer from Texas A&M, is the tackle. Here's Kennedy now, second down. Again, the short pass, and it is complete to Kennard Williams. Immediately making the tackle there is the linebacker, Jermaine Mobley.
Kenny's doing such a great job of getting rid of the football. Even in the shotgun, he's able to throw the quick out to the slot receiver. It shows a great sense and a great presence on Kennedy's part to make decisions and get rid of the football.
So here we are with a third down situation for Alabama State. Kennedy has completed a season-high 19 passes. And he's going to be looking to make it 20. Throwing it over the middle.
had two receivers in the vicinity. Chris Coleman, the tight end, was who it was intended for, and it was overthrown.
Big Lionel Macker was running for his life to stay away. When that ball was overthrown, but he was real excited.
Yeah, and he knew that he had no help back there because they had everybody coming in on the blitz. So that's why Kennedy just kind of put that ball up like that because he knew he had no one playing center field.
So now you get a chance to see David Beckford, the punter that we talked about, who last year led Division I AA in punting at 44.9 yards per punt. He is an outstanding kicker. And Beckford, this one is going to go into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for Alabama State on the defensive end as they try to get hold of this Alabama A&M offense when we get back. The field, and gives us pleasure now to introduce to you Charles Barkley. Believe me, you know I'm not this tall standing up with him right now. I'm standing on something. Nate wants to say something, but don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Hey, Nate, you know, hey, man, I'm a big fan of yours. I love you, man.
A lot of people do, dog. I think it's got to do with something about hugging me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, you got to have fun. You like me, man. We just got to enjoy the game. It's great to see Donnie, too. I hadn't seen him in a long time.
You know, Donnie kind of disappeared. You know, he left Philly and disappeared up in Canada for a minute.
I know. It's nice up there in Canada, though.
Hey.
Alabama State.
This is getting ugly.
It's 28-0, and what have you seen in the first? I mean, can A&M make any kind of move to get back in this thing?
Nope. Nope.
We brought you up here, Charles, for your commentary.
And you know, they had that one chance, and that guy was wide open and dropped a sure touchdown. After that, it was over.
I have a question that people have always asked. I'm sure you get it all the time. With your size and your hands, you would have made a heck of a... I remember talking to you about this a long time ago. A heck of a tight end.
You can get hurt playing football.
Yeah, but most people felt like they get hurt playing basketball with you.
No, let me tell you something. Well, all my football friends, number one, they got no common sense, but they all tough as nails.
Right.
I did play football one day. This is a true story. I went out there, and I said to coach, because they hitting for real out here. This ain't like basketball.
Can't call a foul on it.
No. There's a lot of flopping going on in basketball, but they really be hitting in football. And right after that first day of practice, I said, Coach, you can have your stuff back. And the other problem was it was cold. It was cold. They hit you. I'm not joking. They hit you, and it was cold.
See, look at Big Nate's hands. So you could tell he got them war hands right there too. See,
well, he got them too, you know, from getting them balls jamming his hands. So you know,
they got the same thing.
The difference, man. But you know what, man? I always wanted to see how tall I was, but I guess I still can't measure up, man.
Hey, you know what? It don't mean anything. that height is overrated. I play with a lot of players who were tall who couldn't play dead.
We want some names.
No, you know what they say? They always tell you what's the perfect size. You never nobody know what the perfect size is. If you can play, you can play.
Right.
So, Charles, when do the season open up for y'all?
Tuesday night. We got the Wizards. We got the Wizards every game, it seems like.
Now you know, and they and Don don't think Mike should come back.
He shouldn't have came back.
They're not with him. They're not with him.
No,
I don't think
you
he
know
should
what?
come back.
Michael's like my brother, and I love him. He wanted me to come back with him, but he has nothing to gain coming back. No. I mean, and I think Michael's going to do well, but his team's going to struggle, and them young boys are going to be coming. I mean, them young boys, one thing about them, they're dumb, but they can run and jump. They're not smart, but they can sure run and jump.
So how many wins? By the way, Alabama A&M forced to punt the football again? On 4th and 10. Yes,
my man Foot going to be sore about the another thing.
And Kennard Williams takes it back at his 15-yard line. Trying to get to the outside. Freeman finally brings him down at about the 23-yard line. 8:59 left here in our third quarter. We got a commercial break. We'll have more football and Charles Barkley right after this. And him trailing out 8-0, and on defense, George Johnson along with Nate Newton, Don McPherson, and our special guest Charles Barkley up here in the booth. This Darnell Kennedy has been throwing the football to each and every receiver with accuracy. Have you seen this number 4? What do you think of this number 4 quarterback, Charles?
If he keep throwing that ball that high, he's going to get his wide receiver killed. He's up 20-zip. They better just milk the clock.
Nice protection now. Got all day, and he sets his receiver up. Boom.
See, that would have been chest high for you, Charles. You'd have made the quarterback look good, man.
Yeah.
You could throw the ball anywhere guy on your side.
Just like that guy real hurt.
Eugene Robinson with the catch. Good for close to 3 yards. 2nd down and 7. Kennedy to Bias. Bias is hit by Tavoris Nunn.
Have y'all had a good time in my city?
Do you come down here often? Because it is a great place. I mean,
nice place.
It's a great place.
This is my home. I'm from Leeds, about 15 minutes from here, but I spend a lot of, obviously, there's nothing to do in Leeds. So Birmingham is where we spend most of our time.
So where's the clubs? Tell us people where the clubs at. Where the parties at?
Well, you know, because everybody's in town, it's going to be parties at everywhere this weekend.
Can you get them to build a hotel downtown? Because we had to drive about 45 minutes to get to a hotel from here.
That's the way it is here. We're trying to get a new dome stadium, believe it or not. That's like the thing on the agenda. I think we're going to get it approved this time.
Here's Kennedy on the run, finds his receiver, gets the first down. Making the catch right there is Mayshawn Sanders.
Did you used to come to games here when you were a kid?
It was, number one, this is like the biggest rivalry growing up. Number one, we came for the parade, but also we always came to the game. And it brought back great memories. I tell you what, I don't want to miss this. I was so excited today to be a part of the game and get a chance to be honored with the Tuskegee Airmen. And I met Coach Herman Boone from the movie Remember the Titans.
Right.
And just hanging out with those airmen last night, it was unbelievable. And meeting Coach Boone today, it made my whole weekend.
You know, we saw the Coach Boone yesterday, and him and Don went into in-depth stuff, man. I had to kind of walk away because Don was trying to bring back that old spirit, man. Coach Boone went to stomping around and talking, man, and talking, hey, they ain't gonna run me out of town. You know,
People have seen, if anybody has seen that movie, Remember the Titans, they got to be so impressed with Coach Boone. And it was unbelievable just getting to meet him. I love that movie. I watch it over and over because it inspires me. But also, just getting a chance to meet him yesterday was really, today was phenomenal. But also hanging out with the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right. How about the kids in terms of the things that you try to say to them? I mean, you got your chance to talk to the crowd today. Seemed like you were trying to tell the kids, you know, it's not about trying to fail, especially when you're in the presence of greatness like you were.
Well, you know, it's obviously being black, we're all in the same ethnic group. But when I see guys who have paid their dues like Coach Boone and Tuskegee Airmen, man, I don't want to let them down. I don't ever want to let those guys down because they have actually did all the hard work.
Right.
They made it possible for us to, like, we kind of got it, you know, obviously we still got racism, is always going to be there, but they did all the hard work. And every time I felt like I wasn't successful or I did something I shouldn't have did, I always felt like I was letting those guys down. And I don't ever want to do that.
Hey. Let's take a quick commercial break. We have a break on the field. We'll have more right after this.
The Walk of Fame.
College football. Alabama State, Alabama A&M here at the 60th Magic City Classic. Up in the booth with us now, it's Charles Barkley along with Nate Newton and Don McPherson. I'm George Johnson. Alabama State, the 1st and 10. We're working with a screenplay, and it's snuffed out by A&M. Big time play by Reggie Johnson to bring down Kennard Williams after the catch. Charles, I know that you're probably getting tired of talking about it, but still everybody wants to know about Jordan. I mean, my producers are screaming in my ear. Is he going to be any good? Is he going to lead the league in scoring?
No, he's not going to lead the league in scoring. I think Michael will do well, but the team, I think, is going to struggle. I would love, I tell you, if Michael get them in the playoffs, which I don't think he can, it would be one of the greatest accomplishments in sports history. I mean, because they don't have a lot. I mean, he's relying on an 18-year-old kid. You know, Rick Hamilton's a good player, but that little young kid has to play well. But I don't think he can get them in the playoff. Touchdown.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Pass over the middle by Kennedy to his tight end, Chris Coleman. Coleman scores on the 60-yard touchdown. His second touchdown reception of the football game, and Alabama State is blowing this thing wide open. Good call, by the way, Charles.
LC says the big tight end's got the best hands on the team, so. And he's got some speed to boot.
That was an easy call. When you see a guy running wide open down the field, touchdown, all you got to say.
When you see all these A&M guys at the line of scrimmage, they were bringing a little heat, which left the middle wide open.
Great protection. That offensive line of State has been doing the job all day.
Coleman with the catch and run, and Elms comes in and converts the point after. And Kennedy now 23 of 30, has thrown for 361 yards, 4 touchdowns. Those passing yards, a season high. He also has run for a touchdown. More on BT after this. State throwing the ball all over the place. Should I say Darnell Kennedy? 5 receivers with at least 3 receptions. And his tight end, Chris Coleman, just took one in from 60 yards out, his second score of the ball game. And State is in control with 6:27 left here in the third quarter. And they'll kick things off, and the Bulldogs with the short kick and a fair catch, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 34. George Johnson with Don McPherson and Nate Newton and our special guest, Charles Barkley. Charles, we got Nate in the booth. He's having all kind of fun doing football. How about you doing basketball?
Oh, you know, Nate is like me, man. We just got to make the game fun. I mean, first of all, no matter, everybody try to make it out to be brain surgery. It's just basketball at the end of the day. And I just want people to have fun, watch the game, and listen to the game, and that's it. I mean, because it's just basketball and it's just football. Oh, no touchdown.
Alabama A&M coming up with a big play of their own. Cochran makes the catch.
No, Cochran makes the hit.
That Cochran made the hit. That was actually Lee Jackson with the catch.
You see, Lee Jackson was trying to pick a place to go, and Cochran was coming 90 miles an hour. Almost took his head off. Well, Coach, I got a reason not to play today.
And Cochran only weighs about 225 pounds as an outside linebacker, so he's got the body and the speed to make those plays downfield.
He really has been all over.
That guy must be a freshman. Because he should know when he's down 35 zip, he should be get out of bounds and stop trying to cut back. He's down 35 zip.
You say that is right.
Here's Gunn.
Oh.
Gonna fake. Again, gonna throw. Got a wide open receiver. Oh, he dropped the football. Adrian Abrams was all by himself.
That's the second time today, isn't it?
That's Lindsey, actually. Excuse me.
Actually, the third time today, Charles.
Roberto
They
Duran.
get so excited.
Now, this ball could not have been placed any better, and Lindsey should just kept running for the bus. Oh. See, that's what I mean, Charles. You'd have made that catch. Nobody would hit you. You'd have made that catch.
I know. Anybody should catch it when they're wide open. When you hear them bearing down on you is when you got problems.
I know that's right.
2nd down and 10. Gunn again lobbing that pass. And he had a lot. Again, it looked like Lindsey was wide open when he cut to the inside.
Actually, that time it looked like Lindsey ran away from the ball. I don't think he wanted a shot at it. He didn't want that ball coming down him again after the last one.
But the real deal was Walker coming in late, but made him throw that ball up high like that because he was finna get a gut shot.
So what are your memories of the Magic City Classic in the past, Charles? Do you have any memories of this classic, or is it relatively new to you?
Well, most of my memories are just coming for the entertainment. Number one, the parade, and obviously for halftime. Obviously didn't know enough about football when I was a young kid. But the parade was great, as it was this morning. But also, I mean, the bands at halftime, that's what you came for.
That's black college football at its finest, the bands.
And whistles on a 3rd down and 10. Maybe a delayed game. Sorry, Nate.
You got to understand, all these kids, man, grew up together. They live within 100 miles of each other. They play high school football against each other. Some of them play Pop Warner together. So, you know, these guys, these guys are hot right now for A&M, bro. They got to listen to this all summer long.
You know, that's a great thing about all really big rivalries. All you want is bragging rights. That's the only game you want to win all year.
3rd and 15. Good
nice
protection for Gunn.
That's coverage sack.
And the pocket closes down on him. And he's brought down by big number 55, Deshaun Gillum. Living in this football state, you know Alabama, I mean, people love football in this state. Do they pay attention to basketball? Were they, were their interest into the Auburn basketball team when you were playing back then, or was it still football?
Well, Auburn has about 22, 23,000 students. They got about 100,000 for football and about 7,000 for basketball. So that should answer your question. We had like a really good team. Hey, you know what? Football is king, and that's it in Alabama.
Time for a commercial break. As we go to commercial, let's take a look at today's MEX standings, brought to you by AT&T. A&M in danger of dropping to 1-3 in conference play, and that probably doesn't sit too well with Chris Gunn.
He got some nice looking eyes though, man. I guess he's the ladies' man.
Yeah, he got that look though. That we getting our butt kick look. And coach, please don't put me in.
Thank you.
Man.
And why couldn't that boy just caught my pass 5 minutes ago?
And 20 minutes ago and 30 minutes ago.
You know, that one they dropped in the first half could have been a big momentum swing also.
You know, football is
Ooh, Doug
Look at that
Williams.
score. Is Doug Williams doing the job or
He is
what?
doing the job.
They're undefeated now at 7-0.
But you know, Doug was in the same position last year until we, you know, the Bayou Classic. Things kind of get mojo down there on Doug real bad. So, you know, until he plays Southern and get that off his back, Doug is just another coach.
Nate, I don't think people understand that. You know, once you start going downhill against your #1 rival,
right?
They have a psychological advantage. It's tough.
It's very tough.
Deep in their own territory, Alabama State gives it inside to Hundley. Picks up about 4 yards. As you look at the Sheridan poll among black college football, and Grambling State still #1. Tennessee State, though, in the Ohio Valley Conference, and doing real well. Second, A&T, Bethune-Cookman, Tuskegee, and you see the rest of the 10.
And that's a big shakeup with Bethune-Cookman because they've been struggling for a lot of years. And I don't know who the head coach is down there, but my hat's off to you, bro. You will fall in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando against Florida A&M. Thank you. Message been sent and served.
Alabama State also receiving votes, and they're 11th. But after this showing today, if somebody loses, you can believe they'll be among the top 10 after this week.
You know the great thing about growing up here in Alabama, you get the Black Bible, Jet magazine, and that was like, you had to check out the Black poll, the Sheridan poll every week. It was, because I think every black person gets Jet at home. That's like the Black Bible.
When you go in the bathroom, you see 20 of them lined up in the bathroom.
You got a jet. Yeah, they make a little money in this crib. They got a jet. You go to the restroom, brother got some jets lined up. Boy,
You'll be in the restroom for about 45 minutes too, trying to catch up on all this.
Nowadays you get Sports Illustrated, but in the old days it was just Jet.
Jet was part of the furniture, man. That was part of it. You know, you can't have me. My living room ain't set till I get 5 or 6 jets sitting around.
Don't look up on an Ebony, boy. That's a bonus.
That was like Newsweek.
Yeah.
4:25 left here, as you can see on your screen. We got Big Nate, Charles Barkley, Don McPherson, and I'm George Johnson as they try to figure things out. Looks like there was a clock problem. And these games just go on and on and on when you start having these classes.
They go on and on when you get beat like that. They don't go that. They quick when you when it's a close, exciting game.
That's right.
You know, it's amazing, man. You know, most of the guys on A&M still standing up, you know, hoping to get a shot in the game. You know, their parents out there watching, and everything is happening.
Given the bias. Bias is immediately met by Antonio Wallace. Struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And Nate, you're exactly right. I'm impressed that they're still playing as hard as they are.
I mean, it ain't just you playing, you know, not to lose your job for next week, but you know, your mom and dad done drove quite a ways to come see you play, and you know, and you want, if you sit on the bench, all you can say to mom is like, if they'd have played me, the game would have been different. 35 points, but you know.
Hey, you know, that goes on every level, Nate. You've been in many locker rooms, and I have too. And guys, the coach ain't playing me. That's the reason he ain't playing you. Because even if a coach hates you, if you can play, he'll play.
You still want to win.
Yeah.
Darnell Kennedy fighting for first down yardage and put that ball out in the air just to make that extra effort for the first down. He may have gotten it.
So Charles, what's after the game for you?
I'm going to take my mom and grandmom and my agent out to dinner because I didn't get to see them last night. We had a function. I'm just going to hang out with my mom and them. I'm going to party a little bit later.
Right.
But I'm going to take my mom, my grandma, and maybe my brothers out to dinner.
Right.
Relax a little bit. It's always great to come home.
So where's the place we meet you to go eat, man?
I'm actually going to a place called Gramercy's tonight. It's a little, not a dive bar, but it's hid. You got to get directions, Nate.
You know, he said it's a little. He said a little twice.
Right.
He's trying to tell you something.
Maybe enough room for me.
You might be too big for the place.
We got a fumble.
Alabama State trying to flea flicker. They tried to pitch it back, and the running back lost possession of the football. A&M had a perfect opportunity to pounce on it, but they weren't able to capitalize.
You got to put a hit on the quarterback now. They have 35-0, but they're trying to trickery.
You know, I'm thinking the same thing. It may be time to take Darnell Kennedy out of the ball game. I think you proved your point.
See, that type of stuff right there just make you mad when you're getting hammered like that. You got to put a bounty on the quarterback now.
Oh, yeah, you got to go after him. But right about now, LC trying to make a statement. He's coaching with no contract. You know, his main guy, Mr. Watkins, a billionaire, is offered the board of Regency, and they're trying to get LC out. But with this win here, you may have to pay LC cold.
Kennedy completes his pass to Eugene Johnson. And that looks like it's good for first down yardage, but they've got a flag thrown at the 11.
You know, that's one of the problems in all levels of college athletics, where you have to have people who want you to stay. You should just be judged by how good a job you're doing.
Right.
It shouldn't who's on the board to get you fired and hired. You should be judged by your job performance, and that's unfair.
You know, everywhere LC has been, with Tennessee, he came in with a 3-year contract. He turned them around, had back-to-back, as we saw already, had back-to-back Ohio Conference Valley wins. Now he's here, help turn this program around, and people are fudging, you know, so maybe he'll be out of here after this. Maybe this will be his last Magic City Classic.
That would be a big loss to Alabama State.
We talked about what this game means. When you beat your rival, that means a lot, not just for the team, but for the alumni and for everyone associated with the university.
Kennedy from out his own end zone completes his pass, and his receiver Coleman still on his feet, and they still get the first down.
You know, earlier Big Coleman almost tore his ankle and knee up, and here he's come back with a vengeance. He's like, I'm gonna punish you now. You had your chance, you didn't do it. He's making things happen.
He looks like he's got a little bit of a limp there.
But you know, you guys said it was a cheap shot that that happened to him early in the first half when he caught the touchdown pass and got hit 5 yards in the end zone.
I thought it was a little bit of a cheap shot.
Especially because it was low. The guy just went right after his knees.
He could have hit him on the other part of the field anytime he wanted to. Don't tackle him hard in the end zone.
Hit him out there in fair field. Oh, somebody's loose.
There's Kennedy.
And the receiver's
And again, another catch by Tiger. B.J. Tiger has been schooling the secondary all game long.
And every time A&M has tried to force something with their defense, they've left that middle wide open. Kennedy has just watch me, just backs up and just takes his time,
Great protection.
And just lays it. I mean, how often do you see a wide out stop and jump like that in the middle of the football field?
Line again.
Tiger now with 6 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns.
They have found a way to slow down Dante Dawson, too. I saw Big Bromfield just was hugging him out there, keeping him on the line.
They look like Kurt Warner numbers right there.
I know that's right.
Here's Kennedy looking for some time again. A nice fake right there. Knocked out of bounds, and that was a late hit.
Little late.
By the way, it says 4:20 on the clock, but the clock has obviously been broken. But maybe the scores just keeps going up, and eventually it stops working at a certain point. But now the officials are keeping time on the field. Nate, you talk about the big boys on the offensive line. How they been playing for Alabama State?
Oh, they're playing nice, man. Especially we was worried about Dante Dawson, and we don't see him here on this play, but everybody's getting their hands up, squaring down. You got a tight end out there blocking. The pocket is deep, and the quarterback can do what he needs to do. That's nice blocking. Charles, that's how you block, bro.
Kennedy over the middle. A little too hot to handle for Johnson, and it's incomplete.
And Nate, I got a question for you. You've been a great player for a long time. How do you feel watching your Cowboys struggle?
I feel so bad, man. You know, what I do is I go put on a black suit, sit in front of the TV, because it's like a massacre every time, bro. I mean, we got a young quarterback back there. You know, he's out now, and Carter coming from Georgia. I just think he need more grooming. I think he should have left Tony Banks there, or anybody there, to give him a chance to learn from the sideline, because rushing him in just got him injured and sat him back.
our running game is non-existent. I mean, we got great players in Larry Allen, you know, and Emmitt Smith, but our running game is non-existent, you know. So until we get that down, we're going to suffer.
Don, I've known you for a long time. I met you in Philly. You got a chance to see Donovan McNabb play?
You know, just on TV, and you know what I love about him more than just watching him play is he reminds me of the guys you like to watch play sports. It's kind of like watching you. You see guys who are smiling, they're having a good time, and McNabb has done so much on the field, but you know, between the stripes. But I'm just so proud of him as a Syracuse guy and a former Eagle to see how he handles himself as a person. I think he's just a class guy all around.
And with that having been said, Charles, who in the NBA impresses you? Who do you think represents the league on and off the floor?
Well, the best example is probably Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he's obviously the best player on the planet, but he's a great kid. You can't go wrong with Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant. You can't go wrong. Chris Sewell. You know, Allen Iverson's really grown and matured. But the best young player in the game today is, other than Shaquille, is probably that kid down in Orlando, Tracy McGrady. It's going to be fun watching him grow. I don't want to leave out Vince Carter. I mean, the league has got a lot of young guys that's going to be special for years to come.
How much time we got on the clock, Bobby Guy?
You know, Charles, you know, our SWAC officials, you know, they always play a great part in our games. You know what I'm saying? The game can be flowing great, and our SWAC officials will slow it down. Thank you.
You brought the list out like you were going to start reading.
I thought we start reading names again.
You have to read for them so they can understand we are getting your name out there.
Beckford with another tremendous punt inside the 20. Well, we go to commercial break, and as we do so, we want to thank Charles Barkley for coming up and talking with us.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
We'll have more right after this. I know that for the last half hour, you thought it was the comedy show. A Comic View had come to Black College Football on BET because we had Charles Barkley up in the booth, but Charles is gone, and now we just have Nate again.
Yo, man, I love another big man I can snug up against too, and Mel Bond. Who was Mel Bonding over here, man?
Y'all bonding all right. There wasn't enough room in the booth.
You know the amazing thing about it, how George grew all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M, their point total hasn't grown at all in the time that Charles has been here and gone. They still stuck on that donut, 35-0, Alabama State in the lead. And this time, they get it off to Gideons. Melvin running hard.
I know this
picks up maybe 2 yards on the play.
I know this don't sound quite right, but I know this look ugly for A&M, but Coach Cooper is sticking with his option, and like he said earlier, he has to, because if he's gonna make this thing work through good and bad at this time, he has to do that.
Jacob Wilson, number 19, is back in at quarterback for Ron Cooper's club. 3rd down and let's say 5. Mix up in the backfield. Gideons ran into his quarterback and allowed Keith Miller to catch up to him and make the play.
Gideon was trying to come over. He was supposed to come over in motion, and Crenshaw never brought him across. So when Crenshaw got the snap, Gideon was right there behind him.
He drops back right here, and Gideon runs right into him. I guess Gideon's trying to get over the block, and he didn't really knock the quarterback into the guy. Here's the punt.
Shug will punt the football. The senior. And it looked as if Alabama A&M is counting on the fact that Alabama State touched the football.
Yeah, that ball may have touched number 17.
Jermaine Mobley.
The officials are talking about it. And credit Matt Cruz, the tight end, if I'm not mistaken, with coming up with the big play, being alert enough to jump on that football.
Here go your boys, Nate. The SWAC officials trying to sort this one out.
I think we can get one name between the referee, Richard Drake, and the umpire, George Stanley, the linesman, Theophilus Johnson, line judge, Willie McLaurin, field judge, Keith Moore, side judge, Billy Hicks, and back judge, Bobby E. Washington. Between these guys, they will figure it out.
And here's what they came up with. Football, Alabama A&M. So it took a big-time meeting, but the Bulldogs get the football back.
I can tell mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Are you suggesting that was a meeting of the minds out there?
Yeah, meeting of the minds. They finally figured it out.
13:38 left, and you look at the turnovers. State has turned the football over 3 times.
Yeah, and you know what, Ron Cooper and his team can say that they had opportunities in this ball game. They've had chances to score.
Here's the pitch on to Burrows. Burrows trying to get to the outside, and Cade makes a nice tackle. Keep him shy of that first down. You know, when you look at those 3 turnovers, though, when you score 35 points, a coach is looking for something to be able to scream at his team about. Even if they've scored all those points, taking those 3 turnovers into that locker room will be something he can do and say, listen.
We can, he's, you know, coach, hey, we can improve. We can make this better. So, you know, LC is going to do that. But right now, he's feeling good. The blood is warm and running through his veins. And he's looking at a new contract, hopefully.
A&M throwing the football. Pass over the middle was intended for John Burrows, the true freshman from Birmingham. Ronald Dillon was there defensively.
You know, looking back, Don and George, you know, you think of Brandon Reed, Jamal Ware, Robert Matthews. These guys are out. I mean, you got a great cover corner in Brandon Reed, and maybe he makes a difference. Yeah. With the receiver, BJ.
3rd and 4. A&M completes the pass for the first down. As Wilson found his split in. Number 8, Nicholas Wells for the first.
You know, I think another difference is if you break this game down, and Ron Cooper's going to talk to his team when they look at the film, they had opportunities in turnovers. They had opportunities in the pass game. They had opportunities to make and that's what you call ducking and letting the other team take the hit.
Right.
Oh,
He's got to keep his head up, too.
That was Antonio Hill who took that shot. Here's Wilson rolling, looking for someone downfield. Unable to find a receiver, just forced out of bounds.
Yeah, and this A&M team has had opportunities all game long. They came up with some turnovers, especially down by the goal line, kept ASU out of the end zone, and they had missed passes, missed catches. They had missed poorly thrown balls downfield with guys running wide open. It's a few little things, and this could be a completely different ballgame.
How much indecision do these kids have? We talked about it at the top of the show. They decided to scrap the offensive philosophy. Now it's more option. Has it made the quarterbacks and everybody around them very tentative?
There's no question. You look at the inaccuracy of the quarterbacks, and it's not necessarily that they're not throwing the ball well. It's just that there's no communication with the wideouts.
That pass was intended for Curtis Darnell and was incomplete, but it was actually a pretty nicely thrown ball by Jacob Wilson.
And a well-defended ball, well-defended play as well. Cade showing that he can not only come up and hit you, but he can also cover the ball down the middle of the field. Good position by Cade. Don't look up. He gets a hand in there.
He plays the receiver eyes right there, and that's sometimes you have to do that. When you're clearly bleeding like he was, you have to come up and play the receiver's eyes.
3rd down and 11. Sorry, Don.
It's all right. You talked about Andre Ward as the defensive back coach for Alabama State, and that's definitely what they teach the pro DB.
Good protection. Wilson over the middle again.
Can't love that.
Good defensive play as it was intended for Nicholas Wells. Even Butler was back there, number 37, defensively.
You cannot lob that. He should have put that on the money.
No question about that. But the other thing is the receiver, you're taught to go for the ball at its highest point. When the ball's in the air that long, you have to try to get more aggressive about it. He has to stop his body and get more aggressive about going after this football. This is what happens when you're down 35-0 in the 4th quarter. You just start to be a little bit lazy in the way you're playing.
Credit Antonio Hill also able to regroup and get back to make the defensive play on the ball. There's Wilson on the line. This is a classic example of how big this kid really is. He still was able to get the football off even though someone was all over it.
Yeah, he got hit by Walker and by Miller and was able to hang on to it.
Time for a commercial break. This portion of today's game is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Are you ready for a cold one? We'll have more Black College Football on BET right after this. Alabama A&M, the victim of 500 total yards by Alabama State so far. And Darnell Kennedy has just been a master on the field. 455 total yards alone for himself. Passing, running the football.
So what are you saying? You think Curtis Darnell of the A&M won't get it this year?
Your MVP? No,
MVP?
I think his string of 3 straight comes to an end.
412 yards in the pass game.
Them your type numbers when you was in college.
Yeah, that was 2 or 3 games for me, Nate.
Here's Kennedy, 2nd down and 13. Goes out in the flat, and Williams makes the catch and scurries for about 8 yards after the play. Setting up for 3rd down and short.
You know, defense, keeping their head up. They're playing hard, trying to lose out, and they got a couple of true freshmen out there for A&M. So trying to play and
Third down for Alabama State, where they've been extremely successful, having converted 7 of 10 opportunities. And this time they hand it off inside to number 33, Darryl Howard. By the way, we talked about how this classic generates all kind of folks. And look at the attendance, over 55,000 here at this football game. And you look at the stands right now, and it looks empty. But you know, when you talk about a Black College football game, folks come late and leave early.
I'll tell you where they are right now. They're outside
out in that parking lot. Wait for us. Wait for us.
Because I'm going out and sample all barbecue, all steaks. You know what I'm saying?
Kennedy over on the flat pass was a little too high for his intended receiver.
But as you see, most of the Bama A&M guys are the one that's leaving. We've got a few Hornets still over there.
So now you can see 59 years. Series was tied 28-3. ASU had won 8 of the last 11. Last Magic City Classic shutout was in '94 when State shut out A&M 26-0. Kennedy again over the middle. Pass in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, and that was Herman Easter, who he's gone to the last 2 plays.
The name of this place is Legion Field.
Well, we talked about the guy who has won the MVP here, Curtis Darnell, over the last 3 seasons. Last year, 133 yards, scoring 4 touchdowns in the process. And that streak is coming to an end. That's Ricky in the house. You know.
Now this the man we gotta get
him on headset. Kennard Williams makes the catch. Are you still working? Are you still working?
Man, I'm just up here with y'all, man. I'm just watching Alabama State spank that thing. Yes, sir, baby.
You got to spank that thing.
Spank that thing.
Where you go to school?
I went to Alabama State University.
Okay. I saw you a couple months ago. You had the sweatshirt on.
Yes, sir. You know, I used to wear my ASU on Comic View every night. Yes,
just to let them know.
Yeah, man. We just up in here represent, man. Got a little chilly out there. And
this is the place to be.
Hey, watch, I'm gonna call the play.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Yeah, number 4, he's got the ball, and he's got the ball, and he pitches to the running back. He's going down the field, and he gets hit. And that was Bobby Brown from Whitney Houston University. He really carried that rock that time.
I heard that's a party school.
Yeah, we used to party at State. Yeah, but
so did you talk to the team before the game? What kind of pep talk did you give before the game?
Man, a lot of my frat brothers on the team, man, they just over there just straight up represent, man. But yeah, I went over there and gave him a talk, man. You know, we running out of the I formation. Number 4, he's a 4-year starter. coming from Sweet Yellow Corn, Mississippi, and it's just good to have him.
Sweet Yellow Corn.
Sweet Yellow Corn.
Here's Kennedy. Kennedy going to get away. Still on his feet.
So you
picks up a first down.
You woke Nate up when you said Sweet Yellow Corn.
Sweet Yellow Corn.
Set up.
You can do whatever you need.
See, we know I like about Alabama State, they don't do the Franco Harris, be running out of bounds. You know what I'm saying?
Why you gonna mess with Franco, man?
I like Franco Harris, man, but you know, I was a Dallas Cowboy fan back in the
There
day.
you go. There you go, player.
Remember for Christmas your mama bought you that Dallas Cowboy uniform?
That's right.
Then you had
I
that
couldn't really
Jericho.
fit one, dog.
Right, you can see when he marched in the band, he had on the sweats everybody else had on the band suit. He had on like the sweat pants.
I hear you, player. I hear you.
First and 10 for State. And Ricky Smiley just got that big old smile on his face as they rolling.
Man, we won a classic like this in a
That
long
ball
time,
foul.
man.
Delay, replay, first down.
8:36 left here in the football game. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Alabama State in control. Clock still rolling as they try the pass play to Kennard Williams, which is incomplete. That'll set up a third down and long. You know, we looking at our MVP now. You got MVP for the game? You got your MVP
Number
also?
4, man.
Number 4.
Oh,
Darnell Kennedy.
They're throwing that thing,
Okay,
man.
we're going to write that down now.
He been throwing that thing.
How about on defense? You been watching?
Defense number 9.
Cochran, he know the game.
Everybody think I just told jokes on Comic View. Now I played football, Little League, and in high school.
See, now Charles Barkley was just up here. He said he didn't play football because it was too tough for him.
Right, Charles played the league.
Pass is complete to Kennard Williams on second down, and he's going to be shy of the first by about 5 yards.
Don, when do you take Darnell out? When do you take him out?
I thought they should have taken Darnell Kennedy out of the game about 10 minutes ago. I mean, he's just in the game far too long. They win 35-0. He's put up close to 450 yards, 455 yards of total offense. It's time for him to take a shower.
Let me say something, Sugar. I know this ain't got nothing to do with football. The number 2 Usher board will be meeting Saturday in the back of the congregation at 7 o'clock at Mount Shallow.
Over 500 yards for Kennedy total, 450 pass and 51 yards rushing. That, of course, after our announcement as to where the meeting is.
Excuse me. The number 2 Usher board will be meeting Saturday at 7 o'clock in the back of the congregation at Mount Shallow.
And y'all better be there, too.
Y'all sick. Y'all sick. You hear the tuba funk over there, man?
Yeah.
It doesn't just move you in that music. It's the music. When you just walk
the band's
in.
still playing.
Man, I did Morris Brown pep rally the other day, man, and I had a blast. Got me ready for this game.
34-yard attempt by Thomas Elms falls short. So with that, Alabama A&M will take over with 7.5 minutes left here in the football game. We'll be back with Ricky, Nate, Don, everybody else after this. Dave for Alabama A&M quarterbacks. The Hornets have been all over them. Take a look at these miscues.
When you have that option attack, every opportunity in the pass game, you have to make it count, and they have it.
Boom, right here, he tries to go long, lobs the ball, knocked away.
And right here, man, you know, he just got dragged. Straight up.
Getting beat in so many different ways.
There's the coach.
So in this sympathy, go out to Ron Cooper today for you?
Yeah, I want him
To come to the number 2 Usher board will be meeting 7 o'clock. We need him to be there.
We need to put him in it.
Yeah, he
in the
keep
prayer
them
box.
nose closed while they praying.
Oh, man. That ain't right.
Here's Gideon's on the reverse, and guess who was there waiting for him? Cochran.
Hey, did I say number 9?
That's
You
your
said
boy,
number
right?
9.
All right, now he going to the next level. I'm telling you.
Next level, you making a call?
He got what it take, man.
He had to stop at that barbecue for some biscuits and gravy before he
Trying
goes
to
next
reverse
level.
right here. Because Cochran meets him right in the backfield. Cochran stays home and meets him right here in the backfield. There you go, double reverse. Cochran is a great athlete. Rick say he's going to the next level. It's been called already.
That young man started playing football in the streets when they was drawing the plays up with a rock on the gravel. That's what I'm talking about, man. See, you can tell, man, that dude, you see how he drug him all the way back there.
Cochran has been very active.
Man. Him and Walker, number 56, the linebacker. You know, it's a tough choice for me to pick those two who are out of the MVP defensively, but both of them been playing real good. So I went with Cochran called Rick Twist My Arm, man.
I twist your arm, man.
Yeah.
You had to go with
me to twist your arm, man.
Cochran came in with 4.5 sacks, and he picked up 4 more sacks in this ball game, so he doubled his total.
Okay, now this is more important than the football game. Now we have to do this for the fans. Who band got off? See,
State band won.
See, let me tell you something. When it comes to college football, you know, black college football, it ain't about who won the game. It's about who band got off.
Yeah, it was State's band.
Okay, because you notice everybody leave up there.
So wait a minute, now we asked Charles the same question. What you gonna do after the game tonight? I mean, what you got planned? You gonna perform or what?
No, I performed last night with Frankie Beverly and Mays and Lenny Williams, man.
Right.
So tonight, the Browns gonna be somewhere. The brothers will make a South Five fraternity. You know we have a livest party.
Right.
So I know y'all gonna roll with me.
Okay.
I can take y'all over my grandma's house, fry y'all some fish. What's up?
Okay.
Well, look at you gonna have that make off.
Yeah, you gonna take him for some fried fish?
That's right.
Man, I'm glad to be up here with you. It's cold like that, man. I had to go get me some corn.
You notice he's snuggled up next to the big man. You know what I'm saying? Keep that warm.
There you go.
Pitch was intended for Curtis Donnell, and he dropped the football. And again, A&M is moving backwards.
Man.
6 minutes left, and you can see Coach Cooper not happy with his offense.
Well, this is supposed to be your bread and butter. I mean, that's just pitch and catch.
Yes.
Listen, are we gonna do a most valuable outfit?
Who was that?
There's been some out here.
It was a lady had a coat on. She had on a Rottweiler.
And she won.
She won.
And she won.
With a child collar.
Try to throw Wilson and a nice little catch by his receiver, Johnny Burrows. And Burrows gets it out past the initial line of scrimmage. Still going to set up a 4th down, though.
Roderick Cade making another play. Got just a good old hard-nosed football player.
Even though I went to Alabama State, man, Alabama A&M was the first college university that I performed at as a young comedian back in '90. Marco Arrington and Donald Purnell, they brought me up there to A&M, and that kind of put me on the map. So I'm just shout out to Alabama A&M, fine program.
I hear you.
He's actually now
football and comedian.
On 3rd down pass was intended for Gideon's overthrown. It'll be set up a 4th now. When you talk about this upcoming season, Ricky, what about your show, man? What you plan on doing? I mean, what are we going to expect from it?
Well, you know I'm on Thursday night.
Okay.
7 o'clock. The name of the show is called The Way We Do It. And it's a fat show, man. The show has really moved up in the ratings, and we're doing well. We're looking to come back in January with some fresh stuff. And also, I'm doing a movie with Ice Cube, Friday 3.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm out there in L.A. working on that. And also, just a whole lot of stuff, man. I'm just excited, man.
Y'all not going to have Tiny out there again, are you? Tiny still going to be chasing y'all around? You're not going to have Tiny still chasing you around?
No, I don't think so.
Tiny's not going to chase y'all, right? Ricky, don't go anywhere. We still got you.
Be right back.
Okay, 5 minutes left. We'll have more after this.
Program at the Mount Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church where the Reverend Elder Mitchell is the pastor. Oh, I'm sorry, sugar. Go ahead. This ain't church, ain't it?
Went to a football game and a service broke out. Under 5 minutes and still rolling. That was Ricky Smiley along with Don McPherson and Nate Newton. I'm George Johnson. As this football game continues to wind down, the Magic City Classic, the 60th. Wow. And Alabama State.
Wow.
Just shutting out Alabama A&M in this one. 60 of these classics.
Let me tell you something. I'm from Birmingham. I have never missed a Magic City Classic game since the 6th grade. Me and my boy Chuck Lockhart, we make it every year.
Y'all didn't used to jump the fence, did you?
No, actually we used to climb all the way up to the lights. Look, see up there in the lights, we used to be up there.
I hear you, bro.
It used to get cold.
On the field right now is DeAndre Washington. He's down and injured, and we're going to take a commercial break. We'll give you an update on him when we get back. He's able to get off the field on his own power, and that was good. As for the rest of Alabama A&M,
At this point of the game, Alabama A&M for defense should put in a scrap defense that they use at practice and just let the guys get ready for the next game.
So you're just rubbing it in now, man. You're going to rub it in the Bulldogs' face.
he getting the props for a brief minute.
State continues to roll, and yet credit Alabama A&M still throwing their pads all over the place. That time coming up to make the tackle as they start to use a lot of substitutions. John Garrett with the tackle.
And they've finally taken Darnell Kennedy out of the game. Tiger's now the quarterback.
That man hands cold, man. That man was sitting over there. Man, they need to just run the ball. Don't let him throw it.
Now, you know Alabama State putting themselves in position right now for a championship.
Oh, yeah.
Continue to play the way they're playing.
Oh, definitely, man. I was at the Jackson State homecoming game when Alabama State went down there and won. And I was proud.
Let's take a look at the remaining schedule. This is for Alabama State. And they got to take on Grambling. That's not going to be easy. Grambling's undefeated.
We're going to whoop
Clark. In Mississippi Valley and in Tuskegee. But the big one again is next week against Grambling State. If you win that football game, you have the inside track, the championship.
Where do they play?
I would assume it's going to be hosting Grambling State. They'll be at home.
Oh, man.
You going to the game?
Nah, I'll be with Frankie Beverly and Mays in Tampa.
Okay. You won't have time to make that one. It's time to get paid.
Yes, sir.
I like football, but I like money a little more.
Send me a shout out.
Partial block there. Maybe.
That was his first punt of the day?
Second.
Are you serious?
Not a bad punt. No, he's not punting. You got the best punter in the league in David Beckford.
Man.
That one rolls inside the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10
I really
Alabama
think
A&M.
if Alabama A&M are platinum.
They got us going to commercial, Ricky. Just hold that thought. We'll be right back right after this on BET. Wait a minute. The game is not over till the fat lady sings. Okay? I hear her warming up somewhere. Wilson decides to hold on to the football.
Oh, man.
It picks up about 5 yards on the play as we approach 2.5 minutes left here in the football game.
Man, I saw a girl out there had a gold tooth with a picture of her baby daddy on the inside.
Oh, man.
A picture of him and his boy at the club. Here's my baby daddy.
Leaning.
Right, leaning. Here's my baby daddy, Robert Earl. Not him, that's Keith now.
Man, does it ever stop?
And that again is Cochran, who got a hand on it, knocked it loose, and luckily Alabama A&M able to get back and pounce on the football. That was the quarterback, Jacob Wilson, who got back. But again, number 9, Cochran got his hand on the football.
When I went to visit them Thursday, I came down to Montgomery and was talking to LC. He came in and got a few tapes, though. I watched himself during the rush. He's doing a super job today. Well, you called him, though.
I told you, man. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my girl, Nikki, who was at the game with her baby 3 days old, and then she's sitting over there in section 5-7. She's showing everybody the babies. The baby's sitting over there by the band.
Theodore Mentor with the
how many days old?
The baby was born day before yesterday. And she got the baby out here at the game.
Meanwhile, Alabama A&M's remaining schedule. They'll be off next week, and then they take on the Braves of Alcorn State, who are chasing Alabama State for the championship in the East. And Arkansas Pine Bluff, who you saw earlier this year here on BET, and they'll close out the season against Mississippi Valley State.
I apologize. Nikki has left the stadium.
But she's gone.
She's gone.
35-0. The clock continues to roll, and Alabama A&M looks like they're going to get shut out in this football game. As State will improve their record overall to 5-2.
Game. Briefly, 3rd down.
5-2, 4-1 in conference play. Another delay call. We've seen that a couple of times today. Alabama A&M's record will drop to 2-6, 1-3.
Job over
the SWAC.
Job over the. Oh, they talking here. They still talking trash. That's what I'm talking about.
That's about all they got left.
That's it.
So who's going to lose the job, you feel?
I don't think it's gonna be State, Coach. at least not this evening.
You see, he's got the Gatorade already on him. He got doused by the team. They're happy to see him get that win.
He got hit with about 5 pounds of ice. That's why he's holding his ear like that.
If you'd have threw some Gatorade on me,
it is cold.
Yes, you would lose your scholarship.
So that'll do it here from Legion Field. Alabama State comes away with the win. L.C. Cole and his hopes of winning the Eastern Division remain alive as they knock off Alabama A&M 35-0. Any last comments from you, Ricky?
Hey, man, Alabama State University, man, proud. I'm proud to say that I went to Alabama State University. We have a lot of history, man, and I think we're going to go all the way, and I do believe we're going to beat Grambling. Y'all check out my show. The name of my show is called The Way We Do It, every night at 7 o'clock. It will come on tonight at 9 o'clock. Watch my show, The Way We Do It.
Ricky Smiley. We're going to go to commercial break. Nate Newton and Don McPherson. I wanted to get them to say something, but you didn't allow them for any time, so we'll take a commercial break, and we'll have more right after that.
I'm sorry, dog. Don't shoot me, dog.
Today's Southwest Airlines Black College Football Classic has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
And back here in Birmingham, Alabama, where once again the Alabama State Hornets knock off the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M 35-0. Alabama State improves their record to 5-2, 4-1 in SWAC play. And joining us right now is the head coach of Alabama State, L.C. Cole. Congratulations, Coach, with the big win today. Could you ever have imagined your club would just be this dominant in this football game?
Well, we came in this game with that idea. I mean, we was really focusing on the football game. I mean, we had good practices, and I was going to make sure that we didn't have no interference with painted shoes and looking in the stands or anything like that.
Kennedy, absolutely outstanding today. He ran the football for 51 yards. He threw the football for 450 yards. Coach, the guy has played tremendous since the day he got on that campus. Can he get any better?
Yeah, there's always room for improvement, but Kennedy's one of those football players. He's been underneath 3 different coaches, and he's put up the numbers every time, and he did it again this year. Last year he didn't play that game very well.
Right.
Hey, Coach, this is Don McPherson. Great win today. What do you tell your team? I know you wanted to keep your team focused on tonight, but now you start to look with a short part of the schedule coming up. What do you say to your team after this ball game? What do you focus on? What do you get out of this game?
Well, I think right now this game was a good win for us for going into Grambling, because we know Grambling has a good football team, and this probably was a great win for us, to get that momentum going into that game. And like I keep telling our team, if we want to win the East Conference Championship, we can't wait on somebody else to knock somebody off for us. So we got to win all the way out.
Coach Cole, this is Nate Newton. I was down there and I visited you Thursday, and you expressed some concerns about your contract. And after this game, you said you had a few things to say. What do you need to say?
Well, that decision right now, I guess the university have to make a decision right now. And I guess if you look at it right now, I don't have a contract, so I probably have to do something different when the season's over. I guess I haven't been doing the job for Alabama State, so, I got to look somewhere else, I guess.
But, Coach, how easy is it, how hard will it be for you to turn your back on a program that, quite frankly, you've put your mark on? You've done it before. You were at Tennessee State, had to turn your back on that one after you were undefeated during the regular season. How hard would it be for you to have to say goodbye to this program if that came about?
Well, I think it just might be hard for the players and everything, because, what I have been, embedded in those guys, how to be a man and stand up and all that. But one thing you have to look at the administration, too. They have an obligation to LC Cole, too, because I had a great football team there at Tennessee State, and right now they're undefeated. But I gave all my all, and then, you should be rewarded at the end. I think anybody would want that.
I want to take you off the hook. We'll go back to football right now.
All right.
What about Grambling and State, and what do you know about this football team? Obviously, Doug has done a tremendous job in terms of their being undefeated right now, but what do you have to do to attack this football team?
Well, they have a lot of great athletes over there, and what we got to do is, just try to offset, the pass rush, make sure we're good in the kicking game, and this one is going to be them up-tempo couple games for us. I mean, we're going to have to practice hard and not make any mistakes or have any fumbles to beat Grambling.
Coach, I know you're strict. Can these guys enjoy this game tonight? You going to let them have a little fun before they get ready for Grambling, or they got to go right back to the hotel and start thinking about that next football game?
No, I'm going to let them enjoy this. I'm going to pull it back because this is a great win for us. And, you know, we dedicated this game to the, you know, the motorcycle guy that was leading our team that had the accident. So we're going to take this football over to his home and give him this football.
Hey, Coach, one more question. This is Nate. Darnell, why did he stay in the game so long for you when it was clearly out of hand early?
Well, I didn't never think the game was out of hand for us. You got to think about third quarter's never been good for us. We played the third quarter good, but, you know, we wanted to just keep it rolling. It wasn't anything about running the score up. Kennedy is the man, and, you know, he's trying to win the Walter Payton Award, so he has to put some numbers up and get himself back up there.
Coach, again, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Congratulations. Good luck to you on the rest of the year. And just keep in mind, we do that football game on the 2nd of December. We have that SWAC championship. We want to know, you going to be there?
Hey, that's the plan right now, to be there.
Okay.
Cold-blooded.
Thanks very much, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Again, congratulations. Coach L.C. Cole, after the victory today over Alabama A&M. And, you know, obviously, if you take a look at the highlights, it's all about Alabama State. They jumped all over Alabama A&M early on. That's B.J. Tiger, 12-yard touchdown catch. This was an absolutely unbelievable play, Don. 40-yard play to time.
Yeah, and we talked about all game long about Darnell keeping his eyes down the field the entire game and get rid of the football. And Nate loves it when the big uglies get to push him in the end zone like that.
Booty, baby. Smash it.
That's right.
This was the touchdown pass, obviously, to his tight end, Chris Coleman. Coleman got hit in the end zone. We thought that he might have knee problems, but obviously he didn't, because then he caught this one and went 60 yards with the score, Nate.
There's a lot of DBs think they run 4.3, but this guy, he run a 4.8, not ran all of them.
A 4.8 with a broken leg, that's not too bad. As for Alabama A&M, had their problems. Couldn't quite find, it seemed like, the right quarterback to make this thing work, Don.
Well, I think it was not just the right quarterback, but the right system. They had some opportunities in the pass game. They didn't take advantage of them. They did a horrible job of protecting both quarterbacks that were in there, and they just couldn't get that option attack going. And that's, once you don't get the option going, there's not much you can do in the pass game.
It's obviously very easy for us to talk about the fact that the offense was not making anything happen. Is that taking anything away from the Alabama State defense today, Nate?
Yes, it is. I mean, they played a great game. Al Walker, the linebacker, number 56, did a super job. And Earl Cochran is all over the field. He came into the game with 4 sacks. I think he equaled that again today. So Earl Cochran played lights out for him. And Cade, the strong safety, oh man, he was making plays, lining everybody up perfectly, making things happen.
Don, when you talk about this Alabama State's club right now and the fact that they still have to take on Grambling down the road, I mean, obviously they want to stick with the same game plan that they've had, but when they play a tougher team, because we know Alabama A&M, this was a team that is struggling coming in.
Right.
I mean, do they look like the kind of football team, I'm talking about the Hornets of Alabama State, that contends for this title, maybe one of the better teams in the SWAC, or is there some things they got to work on?
Well, I think there's definitely some things they have to work on. They obviously played a weaker opponent today and had to work on some things that, you know, they had some clock management problems early. They had some timeouts that they shouldn't have had to call early. But I think overall, this team did a nice job of mixing up their offense, and also defensively, I thought they stepped up, especially their outside linebackers.
Nate, you take a look at our Southwest Airlines final stats, and Alabama State obviously controlling in first downs, threw the football for 450 yards. What stands out, though, as you look at those numbers?
Time of possession. You got to say, I'm a groundhog type guy, but what L.C. Cole did with the State, he took them and controlled them through the passing game. 35 minutes to their 24. That's very dominating.
Yeah. And the other thing that stands out is 10 penalties. When you talk about what do they have to work on, they have to work on keeping that mental toughness and keeping their concentration throughout the ball game. They can't let it down, even though they're playing a lesser opponent.
Easy for us to sit here and talk about Alabama State. They're the team that came away with the victory. As for Alabama A&M, they've got some issues. They've got to settle. And when I would assume that it all starts first and foremost with the philosophy. How are you going to play this football game, especially on the offensive side of the ball?
I think you picked the right word, philosophy. They have to get a coordinated decision on what they're going to do. They're going to run the option, which means they're going to have to abandon a lot of the things that they tried to do in the pass game and run option football. That also means that their defense has to step up and force some plays defensively. They tried that and got burned all night tonight. However, they are going to have to come up with a philosophy and stick to it.
Got to get out of here, but very quickly, with all the injuries that Alabama A&M has had right now. Do they squash some of these older guys, start getting these younger guys in, give them some experience?
No, you get your older guys back. Get them, Brandon Reed,
Right.
Jamal Ware, Matthews. They got to get them back because you still got to fight to be respected at the end. And plus, the seniors got to go out on top.
Okay, listen, that was Nate Newton, and this is Don McPherson. My name is George Johnson. Thanks for joining us once again. Alabama State in control in this one as they knock off Alabama A&M by the score of 35-0. All Hornets as they continue to roll in the SWAC.